see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong.
Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. Hey.
This is Houston Control. Checking for backup. Backup initiated. Locking out all ports. Clear. And we are good to go.
We got her, NASA. Thank you, Houston. Coming live to you from 250 miles above your imagination in the international fake station, Sovereign Soul, Unchained Mind. We have a live studio audience up here with us tonight. Most of them over here in the chat. Let's go over here and see who's in this joint. Let's see who's in this joint on a Friday night. What kind of miscreants have we attracted here to the Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind show? Let's see. We got Benny Boys here. Good to see you, Ben. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that Telegram thing. I don't have that, but apparently it's something that all the kids are using now, so I'll have to get into that. We got Chilling is with us, and we can see your messages, my friend. Justin Johnson, Lisa Marie Tattersall, my neighbor, M. Kex. Good to see you, Martine. Haven't seen you in a little bit. No longer on the balls with us. Good to see you as well, the yellow spider guy. Hope we didn't trip you out too bad last night with Rasta Bear, but hey, that was interesting. Thrash List Smith is with us, and Jehovah's daughter Barbara. Good to see you all. More people piling in. We got Charles B. Looks like he just showed up. Justin Johnson. Holy cow, we're getting a heck of. So we don't really have an itinerary. I was just kind of looking at some crazy shit that was happening on the Twitter feed and what's going on, what they're trying to make us believe is going on. Of course, we all knew the plan for quite some time now. If it hasn't been completely apparent to anybody that's watching, there's Shifty Eye Shady showed up. Good to see you as well. Yeah, Lisa. Yeah. That is. It's there's more to that too. I think we're going to do and if anybody wants to talk about that, come on up on here. I'm of course talking about mud flood, millennial rain, possibilities. We get into quite a bit on here that is affects what we deem as reality. And of course, all of it starting with the fundamental satanic lie of the globe Earth. And from there, I mean, let's face it, if I can get you to believe that dumb shit, I can get you to believe just about anything, because you're going to trust in the authority. There's Chicago artists. Good to see you, my man. Had good time hanging out with Chicago artists in Vegas. How was Area 51, my man? Did you guys end up down to the mailbox? Did you see Camo guys? Come on up and tell us about it, man. I know him, and what was that woman that was with you, the blonde-headed woman? God, it pisses me off. I can't never remember people's names. But she was down there at the park with me and you and Mojo and all the rest of them. I guess they were getting ready so that they could go down to Area 51 that day. And we hung out at the campground and played music. And Dr. Law was there. I got to tell you, that guy trips me out, man. Dr. Law trips me out. He is like, has so many different talents. It's not even funny. So he's playing guitar with us. He carved these fantastically gorgeous designs into a cantaloupe and into a watermelon. He did the whole Flattoberfest. I think we might have showed a picture of it last night. If not, I'll show it later on my Facebook. I have it. You never went. Oh no, what happened? Oh, there's Mojo Shops with us here tonight. There's Smith W's with us again tonight. Hold on just a second here, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to the world here tonight. Yeah, we've been having a good time here today. Just kind of watching shit happen. As I started to say, if many of you haven't been aware of this for quite some time, at least the last 20 years, I think they finally got their break to finally finish off the two last countries in the Middle East.
What are those?
Iran and Syria.
Yes.
Syria was already about half gone. And now, of course, we've been trying to get in the door to fight with Iran. Oh, God. Well, we know there was a plan for 9 countries.
It's biblical.
Yeah, it is. And
Persia, Iran's Persia.
Yes, it is. And here's what's so interesting about that, too, is that, you can tell they want war, right? Because look how close they put their country to all our bases, right?
Yeah.
I mean, bastards. This is what I'm looking at. And they haven't, I think it's been like 250 something years since the last time they ever attacked anyone. Am I correct on that? I think it's been like close to 200 or 250 years since they've attacked anyone. They were attacked by Iraq, and they had that little war with Iraq there in the 80s, or the late 70s rather. But that's the only time I ever know of anything going on. It was, we came to a point where we were supposed to hate them, and that was after that Islamic Revolution. And when you look into that, you know what that was about. They just shit canned all the Western powers out of that nation, out of that country, which is probably a wise decision.
Yeah.
Because we are just Babylon the Great. Our influence is constantly disrupting and destroying other cultures.
The Great Whore.
Yeah. I mean, look what Western culture did to Southeast Asia. I mean, including the French influence there.
So, and I'm not saying anything, but the beast of the sea and what's Southeast Asia, it's SEA.
Yeah, right. Well, the Leviathan, I'm looking at that too, as in a symbolical aspect of it, because we are under commercial law. And the Levites are who are responsible for the law. And of course, commercial law is the law of the sea. This is why we're with our birth certificates and everything, with damn near everything in nautical terms, including the way our courts are set up, like the bridge of a ship. That the Leviathan spreading its tentacles from the sea is getting everybody under this farcical commercial code of the sea, like we have here in the United States and other countries as well.
Yeah, the sea. What's cracking? The Leviathan. What's cracking, yo? I get
Right?
it. I get it. What's cracking?
So I see that occurring, but I also see another thing happening too, and it's almost inadvertent, that there's more and more people that are just looking at the whole situation of the world and going, you know what? Fuck this. This is all bullshit.
So can I bring you back to what you just talked about, the Levites? So you have Levi's as an anagram for evil. And from the founding of Levi's until Obama's birth is 32217 days. What does that mean? I don't know. 322. Figure it out.
Well, I know that's the skull and bones number. What's the significance of 322?
So here's the thing. We just had the 322nd year anniversary of Skull and Bones in the year 223. What happened? Nothing really. They had Hawaii. That sucked. It wasn't that, but you know what I mean? I really thought they would have gone all out. What else is on their Skull and Bones logo? A skull and a crossbones. And what's the crossbones? It's an X, because X marks the spot, like planet X Nibiru. It's not a celestial body. Plan for it. It's X.
Well, what about the X of the crossing of the two eclipses? We got another one coming in April.
Well, it's a total of 3, and it makes an A, which is the first letter in the Greek alphabet, and Aleph, which is symbolized by an ox. Because
you know that X, though, with that X, that thing's right over a place called Eagle Pass, Texas.
Yeah.
Which has a sacred meaning to it as well.
And the last eclipse just passed through. The last one passed through, Corpus Christi, like the corpse of Christ.
Yes.
But it means nothing. God's not real. They go out of their way to mock him for no reason because he's not real. Or he's real, and they go out of their way to mock him 24/7.
Smith, this is the whole thing, man. This really got me, because the most powerful brainwashing and the most powerful thing that we have right now is, of course, this behemoth we call the television. And this is where people are getting a lot of their information from. And that's exactly what they're pushing, is they're using that to its greatest extent right now. And this is and I think that the illusion is at an all-time high. What do you think, man?
Yeah, it is an illusion, and so I do numbers, I do everything. So illusion, ILUSIM, like ionized radiation that they're going to rain down on us. And if you go, and I'm not going to go elaborate on too much, but there was a place in ancient Greece called Ionia. I got a whole thing on it. I'm not trying to present. This is your show.
Right. Yeah, I got that picture. It's on my phone, FE Nation. Hang on a second. I'm going to do something here. Real quick. Come on, go over to there. Damn it. Why am I not at my mail? I want to be at my mail. It's going to make me sign in, isn't it? Damn it.
What happened to your live stream last night, man? I fucking murked that. I left a blood booth in there.
What do you mean? What happened to it?
It's gone.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, I just checked on it like an hour ago. It's gone.
Let me look here.
My friend to check it out, because I had a pretty good presentment there.
I didn't see anything about it being gone. Hold on a minute. No, it's there.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, maybe it's still there.
Yeah, it's there, man.
All right.
Don't scare me like that, bro.
Congrats on your 1,000.
Oh God, I got like 100 million emails since he sent me that.
I got to 600 subscribers with 0 content, so I slowly put up content, and now I'm getting up there a little bit.
Oh, this is a good one. Yeah. This is a good picture that FE Nation took this of me. I like the way you spell your name in the old German way. Anyway, let me open this up and I can share it. Good Lord. Okay, allow everything. Good to go. What the hell? Arrgh. There we go. I'll do this. There. Now, if I open this back up. Sorry, guys. I'm just having a hell of a time here with doing what I'm trying to do. There, because I can't see my regular window. And there's Lisa has joined us, Astro Cat, Justin Johnson. All right. So we got some more and more people showing up here tonight. Real quick, I'm going to share. This is a picture that FE Nation took at the hotel of me, with my little geek badge on. And they had this waterfall thing going on here where they were doing laser shows in the mist at night, and there's these animals that like move their heads and move around and stuff in there. And even back in the creek in another whole area, this whole indoor thing is a beaver running around. I know I'm all over the place tonight, but
no, you're good.
We're doing.
I always say God didn't damn it. A company from Beaverton, Oregon did with their false idol worship. That's nice.
Oh, And that reminded me, yeah, about the TV thing. Okay, so like I saw this thing with Glenn Beck. Now I think Glenn Beck, he's an establishment mutt out there. I believe he plays a role. Hello, Mrs. Tribune, good to see you. He plays a role in the misinformation, I think. But an interesting story that he did tell was I saw him talking about before he left Fox News. Rupert Murdoch had called him onto the carpet for saying and mentioning God too much and said he didn't want to hear him mention God anymore. And Beck just didn't pay much attention to it. And the next time that he met with Murdoch, Murdoch was like, do you know how many times you mentioned God on your stream or on your show? And he's like, no, are you really asking me? And he had a count 16 times. And it's like, whoa, why would you get so bent out of shape about that?
Because they want to lead people from God. I think the two biggest signs that someone is not who they appear to be is they want to lead you away from God. Yeah. And what's one of their biggest ways they do it? And I just brought this up earlier on a stream. They were talking about 007. What's the biggest way that is always distracted 007? With a female. They want to bring it back to sexual humor and to flirting with women and to distract completely from the truth. That's the easiest way.
Yep, take you down because that takes you into your lowest root chakra vibration, you see? And that's exactly why they try to keep you immersed on that vibration at all times, subliminally, through your media. Did they find the shooter? How about that? Okay, so Lisa just said
even a real person. Did they ever even release the manifesto of the Christian shooter? Who cares? Because it's a Christian persecution.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. This one might be for real. And here's why. Simply because there was no manifesto. They got the guy after a prolonged period of time, and he's alive.
You're talking about from Tennessee?
This latest one that they had from Maine.
I was referencing the Tennessee one.
That one. That was fake.
All psyops.
Yeah. This one is missing unless they've learned a new trick. But this one is missing the manifesto because there's always a fucking manifesto, right?
Yeah.
And they got the guy alive.
Yeah.
Right. And they didn't get him immediately.
Sorry to hear that he killed himself in jail.
Yeah, right. No, this one might actually be a legit deal, but they said that the guy had mental issues anyways. And of course, come on, FBI, go ahead and tell us the standard line. Oh, he was on our radar. And they always say that. They never did anything about it. Meanwhile, they're spending all their resources tracking my streams and, watching me and shit, because I guess I'm more of a threat than some of these people that are actually going to go out and do things, fuck. Just gets me.
It's insane. Yeah, they had that thing that happened in Tennessee, and this wasn't even. I never heard a single person. Everybody talked about the different shoes. Did you hear one of the teachers' last names was DYKE House? Dykehouse. Dykehouse. Weird.
Come on, you got to be kidding.
Who did the shooting? Oh, okay, yeah, it was one of those people. Okay, I get it.
Oh, come on, man. That's the whole thing. I don't know if you saw. See, I was doing a stream about that on YouTube, and I was running it at the same time on Rumble, and YouTube cut my stream because I was pointing out everything about it that was fake. We were going through the body cam footage piece by piece by piece by piece.
What's Karate Kid? Fear is not allowed in this dojo? No, it's truth is not allowed.
That's exactly, yeah.
Truth is not allowed.
And I find myself, this is so weird, and this is how this stupid censorship works with you. Is it, I find myself like in real life, like when I was at the convention, right? I'd be talking to people and I find myself censoring shit.
Did you go to the Flat Earth convention?
You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I would say, get the jab. I would say, things that you have to tiptoe around. I found myself doing that in real life. And I was like, whoa. I got to quit that. And that's the best way to get out of any kind of, there's Brian Stavely. Brian Stavely got arrested. He got arrested for trying to lock a bunch of people in a grocery store. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't. That would have been funny though. I was going to make up flyers to say it, warning, do not go to the grocery store.
I'd love it if Brian put me on. I'm so unique and original. I do my own thing. That's cool. I'm just me. It's not about me. Did you go to Flattober then? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I went to Flat.
And is it not nothing but dating? I'm not saying that's all it is, but it's been infiltrated by that.
I didn't see that.
I've seen so many videos about it. I'm not saying that's all it is.
I mean, if that was what was going on, it was oblivious to me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't see a whole lot of that type of thing going on. I saw a lot of people that I see in the chats, and of course, people that I see on videos and stuff. That what I found really interesting is that even though we're all in kind of the same category, we have slightly different ideas.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is important that we share those ideas, because out of that can come a new conclusion.
Yeah.
You know,
spitballing and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I like this. I hate seeing camps. You know what I'm saying? I hate seeing people divide themselves up into camps.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, listen to it all. Go to the whole buffet. You can look at all the food. You don't have to eat it all, though. Right? You can pick and choose what you put on your plate, and you can taste some of the shit that you're curious about and see what it's about. I mean, that's how you got to treat all these issues. You got to be able to look at all of the information. Some of it's going to be garbage. Some of it's going to be good. You have to be able to have the discernment, you know, to be able to determine that, and that's where logical, critical thinking comes in. And unfortunately, our system spends 12 plus years, and some people pay to get more of it, to keep you from being able to critically think, in lieu of intelligence by proxy, regurgitating shit that people you perceive as smart said. You know, it's like,
I'm not picking a side of either side. I don't, like I said last night, I don't think the Star of Rem fans on the right side of it. But it is pretty weird that all these woke people are out protesting, saying Q's for Hamas. I don't know if these Q's know if you go to where Hamas is, they'll behead you. You're not allowed to live that lifestyle over there.
Yeah,
they're out in the streets protesting for the change of your enslavement.
I laughed. That's like chickens for KFC.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, do you guys really need to look into what the hell it is you're saying? You're just following mantras that were given to you by someone you deemed as intelligent, you know? And it's like, no, you can't do that. Listen to people's information, but don't just accept it. You know, listen to what people are saying, but don't just accept it. Run it through your own logic filters, you know? And unfortunately, we got people that it's so much easier to just go with the flow, what the consensus is, even if the consensus is 100% wrong, like globe or gravity. These fucking things, people just take it and go with it because that's what everybody says. And if you don't say that, then you get kickback and ridicule and shamed. And that's where the big kicker with this is that our society is built on the idea of being wrong as a cardinal sin. Yeah, you know, to be wrong. Oh, how dare you be wrong? So a lot of people, rather than take the chance of being wrong, they just accept.
Anyone would have to check out my YouTube appearances for the last 6 months. I'm never on anyone's side. No one ever sides with me. It's good. I'm good with it. I don't care. I'm different and I accept it. So it's
you have to. You came into this world an original. Why would you want to die a copy?
It's no measure of good health to be well-adjusted to profoundly sick to society that's run by fucking Satanist pedophiles.
Well, this is what cracks me up is I know that my agents are probably half crazy by now, trying to correctly categorize me. You know, because I don't fit any paradigm. I really don't. Unless you consider what's right versus wrong.
Okay? I do know that you have the right thing to do, and then you have what's left. And left hand in Latin is sinister.
Is it really? Is that for real? The word in Latin is sinister.
Left hand in Latin is sinister because they're the blue party. They're not happy. They call themselves prideful. They're not happy. Come on. Do they look happy?
I don't know, man. I think that for the most part,
It's all the same. I'm just saying it was.
yeah,
a big event.
on the street level, you know, the parishioner level, I guess we could call it. Yeah. But when you get up there in the level of the chambers,
Then they're all the same.
of course they are.
But people
That's why
used
they're
to
so
wipe
easy
their
to-
ass with their left hand. Is the point I'm making?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
With the
not the
left
right
hand
thing to
down.
do.
Cast your net to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what's in the language. In fact, that's what, like I was getting ready to say. Like I talked to Dave Murphy, and what a interesting guy. And we were talking about language and how letters were originally designed and where they came from and shit. And I wished I'd had more time to talk to him because I wanted to specifically talk more about the English language itself. But now him and there's a few other people, they're on this school of urine therapy. And a guy that was hanging out, he met us there from Arizona. He was down for that too, and he was like really trying to convince me, and I was like, dude, no, I'm not gonna drink.
That sounds like a NASA thing. Don't they fake drinking their own pee, or maybe they actually do it?
Well, there's a thing about them. There's actually stem cells in the urine that like if you're sick there, and there's some documented evidence to show that, like, all right, for instance, the toxicity of a jellyfish sting can be neutralized by urine.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing. People that have been bit by tarantula or whatever, a rattlesnake, that they can drink their own urine. Anaphylactic shock. It'll take care of anaphylactic shock. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of interesting points to that, but I'm not to a point. I don't know.
I'm not inviting our Kelly over. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe there's a social stigma to it or whatever else. It is sterile. It is clean when it comes out, but I'm just not down to give the best man hugs. Thanks, Benny. Yeah, I mean, look, what's next on the agenda? And I said that to Mark Sargent. We were down at TGI Fridays. It was late, and me and Brian and a bunch of people were sitting there with Mark Sargent. And we got to talking about that. And I was like, no, man, I says, because what's like next around the corner, deep fried turds, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. And I swear to God, Mark Sargent says there is some people that they have a school of thought that certain amounts of your own feces is good for you. And I was like, nope, I'm not even going down that whole fucking rabbit hole there at all. Nope. I mean, I'm thinking I've smelled my pee. There ain't no way I'm getting that past my nose, Yeah, Dr. Amanda Vollmer, she gave an entire talk about it. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
All the guys you named there are pretty dope. I've heard of all of them. They're all solid dudes.
Oh yeah. And listen, Dave Murphy's as personable as you want to get. In fact, just about everybody that I met was. I didn't get as long of time to talk with Austin Whitsitt as I wanted to, but I was discussing gravity with him for a little bit, and that was pretty interesting.
Do you think gravity's the big G of Freemasonry?
I think the big secret of Freemasonry is that they found Freemasonry and repurposed it.
Yeah, in 2020, they were giving away free pallets of bricks. It was literally Freemasonry provided to you by Berkshire Hathaway.
Well, you know how you find that you see these buildings and they say, founded such and such a day.
Yeah, that's just the day they repurposed it, because it's the 33 1/3, the Freemasons, the 1/3 that fell from heaven, and they built these structures.
Think about this too, man. Found dead.
Yeah.
Found dead and repurposed.
Oh, we could do some spitballing, man. I love words. I'm better with words than I am with numbers, but I'm known for my numbers.
What's this dream? Oh, there's Dreamy. Dreamy showed up.
We call them ley lines because when you lay down, you lie down. And Satan is the Lord of this world. And it's a landlord. And Stan means land of. So it's Stanlord, landlord. He's the Lord of this world. You might need to rewind that. I said a little fast. So I got a whole thing on it.
I'm going to go over here to my wife's. Am I still here? Yeah. Okay, cool. My wife's Facebook. She's got a picture of it. I have it on video. But I thought this was really interesting. That sphere in Vegas, right? they got this like map of it outside on a plaque. How the fuck do I find shit on here? Oh, there we go.
Sin City.
Well, the thing is that this is really an intricate design on this thing. Here it is.
You guys were talking about triangles last night, and the reverse of the hypotenuse is called the sine X, but it's written sin X, S-I-N-X. It's the reverse of the hypotenuse, and X marks the spot. X marks the spot in time, and it also marks the place. It's the X chromosome is the woman. It's the woman of the Babylon. It's the whore of Babylon. It's America. It's going to mark the spot. It's next year.
So I'm going to zoom this in. Hang on a second. This is really crazy. This Las Vegas sphere. This is it right here. And then I can zoom in. Y'all see that?
Oh.
Did it come up? And there's no indication what those spirograph things in that represent. I mean, I looked all over this sign, and this is just like a "you are here" thing. See the little sign that's there?
I can't see it yet. It's still loading. Oh, there we go. Yeah, isn't that like not the flower of life, but the spirograph?
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out where, it didn't say anything about what any of this spirograph ship is on here, but it just tell you where everything was at. You had valet parking, different.
That 11-pointed star in the center too.
Nothing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
I couldn't see. I was far away. Never mind.
I wonder if that represents some kind of planetary movement.
Maybe.
Because when you look at the movement of the wandering stars on the on a AE map, that's what you get, is that kind of a pattern, where instead of all chaotic looking like you see on a globe and shit.
Yeah. None of it makes sense. None of it. It does if you just believe. If you just blindly believe and you're like, well, they're smarter than me, so I trust them. Thinking's too hard.
Hang on here. I got this. Is kind of cool. This is only 20 seconds. This was up close to this thing.
It's their sphere of influence.
Dude, this thing was a trip, man. Oh, wait, what am I doing here? There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right.
And that's the sphere of Vegas you went to?
Yeah.
Probably only uses as much electricity as a small city, but go green.
LEDs. Yeah, I put a video up earlier of it.
I saw
where I went right up to it, and those things are like about this big around. Each one of those dots is about this big around, about like a 35 millimeter camera lens.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 rows of in rings of LED, like a target inside each one of those. And there's like literally thousands of those, and each one of those is a pixel. Each one of those little LEDs inside one of those round things is a pixel.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know they're doing special cameras. They got to use like 10 cameras at once, and they're actually filming stuff to put not only on the outside but also on the inside, because it needs cinematography. It's pretty interesting.
Let me see. I think I got where I can.
You know where the eclipse is actually going to have totality over?
Where's that?
Carbondale, because man is of carbon, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, but we need to reduce carbon footprint. We need to reduce people, is what they're saying.
Let me see if this. Yeah, you're the carbon they want to get rid of.
Yeah.
So you can see I got up real close. Let me stop this screen. Present this screen. Well, oh, there it is. But each one of those has, looks like 3 rings of LED lights inside each one of those dots that you're seeing on the screen. And then when you
get back further from it. Like, what's that? I'm just recording. No, I'm going to. I'm getting ready to. Yeah.
Gosh, get out of here.
Yeah. I
This
was
is a pretty good video. This guy, his name was Dave, and I forgot to ask him. He said he had a YouTube channel. I was getting ready to ask him what his YouTube channel was, and then I forgot because we got to talk.
Was he harassing you for filming it though, or what?
No. He was just he's a guy that works there. We got to talking about the F1 race that's coming. And yeah, there you go. Now you can see what those things look like.
Wow.
all right. You people can see that now. I'm close enough that each one of these you can see has rows of LEDs in them, but they can shade each one of those. See how that's doing? Now that's just right up close. And these things are all the way up around this thing. It's like that. Which is really cool. There they are all lit up. Maybe come down here close. Right up on them. If you look over there, you'll see
There it is.
Trump Tower.
There's our Lord and Savior, Jesus Trump. See
Yeah.
his little cross on the end? There's a big T on the one end of the building. I was like, oh, that's appropriate. Yeah, sure. Let's just go ahead and have a crucifix.
I
Anyways,
call it
that whole video is on my channel. There's Deborah Clark has shown up too. Cool. We got everybody in here tonight. All the cool kids are here. Hello, Swim. Good to see you. What were you saying? I'm sorry, Smith. Go ahead.
I just said I call Trump 2 Thessalonians 2:7 the restrainer. It doesn't say that whether that person's good or bad. He's definitely not here to save us. But Trump did say, I am Batman. And if and when, because he will get elected if they don't assassinate him, on election day, he'll be 28,310 days old. And coincidentally, that's the zip code of Batcave, North Carolina. And he says, I am Batman.
Wow. That's
Probably a
pretty
coincidence.
crazy. Yeah, really. There's a certain point where it's like, okay, this is too many damn coincidences.
I know. I just throw that out there for the people with their cognitive dissonance that say you're crazy or it's apophenia or whatever. It's just like, get fucked, bro. You don't understand it.
Die, defined eternally. What? I don't get it, Martine. But that video's on my channel. I got that one and a shorter one.
Did you stay there?
I talked to Dave.
Did you stay there at where the sphere is?
No, we stayed at a place called the Desert Rose, and it was a really nice timeshare resort. I think I got a video of it, little short one.
Were you off the strip then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got married there. To be honest, I think slightly off the strip is the way to go.
Yeah. See, they had Vegas. Vegas was so tore up that there was no there was just like no getting around. There was they had that formula. They're getting ready for the Formula One race, and they're putting in grandstands everywhere. $6,000 a seat
for the F1 races.
Yeah,
watch him do 100 left turns. No, thank you.
Yeah. Really? Let me see here. I put that up. Let me see. I know it's back here somewhere. Couple days ago. I didn't realize I posted so much bullshit since then. Damn. There was the airport when we left. Dave Murphy. God damn, how far back was it? There's all these pictures and shit. Hold up. Okay, here we go. So let me pause.
So you got the moon landing took place on July 20th, 1960.
Hold on, I can't stop. Why can't I stop? All right. So this is what I want. God, why can't I? There it is. Fuckers. Why does that keep showing me that little thing down there? Anyway, let me bring this up. This was the resort we stayed at. This is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You're not going to play for me? What the fuck? Damn thing. That's all I wanted right there. Just play. What the hell? I hate Facebook with a fucking passion.
Technology in general.
I'm telling you what, man. All right, so let me try this. Oh shit! I gotta go all the way back and find that.
As you're doing that, in the rest of the world, they say the day of the month first. So the moon landing took place on 20-7-69, and that's the zip code of Goddard, Maryland. Goddard means without God, and that's home of the NASA Space Flight Center in quotations because they're not actually going there.
Goddard was the first guy that came out with a rocket, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 20769 is the zip code of Goddard, and that's the date that they allegedly went to the moon, if you're that gullible.
Oh, listen, that whole thing was a whole joke. Every bit of it was a joke.
When people, it's like I do things differently. They're called zip. What's the second part of it? Codes. I'm the only one who does them. People laugh at me for it. Oh, well.
All right, I think I can do this now. All right, let's see.
Oh, hey, I didn't even notice my computer's at 1%. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you, Dave.
Check out this place, man.
Hold on, what?
My computer's at 1%. Thank you so much for having me on. I don't know how I didn't notice. I don't even know where my charger is. I've been drinking all day since I got off work. God bless you.
Shit.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you. I'll jump
right on, man. Plug your stuff in and get it charged up, man.
6079 Smith W. It'd be awesome. If anybody sub, take care. God bless.
Yeah, right on, right on. If one of my mods would go ahead and put his link in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, this is the rest of where
Pretty cool. Lots of room, man. Look at all this. Hell yeah.
Well,
so this place.
That was kind of a nice place, man. There's Moon Bounce. What's up, Moon Bounce? Hang on. Everybody, welcome. I forgot to hit the applause light, up above the live studio audience.
Thank you very much. I thought your technical difficulty there was because you needed that. There's always a delay from 250 miles up.
Oh, we got it.
So when you're pressing that play button, it's going to take a little bit for it to actually work.
It was actually, we were stuck in a gravity well is what was going on. It was pulling on my cursor, making it go down lower. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's it. Holy cow, it's cold out here.
Where you at? Oh, you're outside? Yeah.
Just came outside. Oh, there's the moon. It's bright.
It's 65 degrees here tonight, which ain't too bad for this time of year.
Hey, guess what, man? I looked up at it, but that pie didn't hit me in the eye. I looked up, it hit me in the eye like a big piece of pie.
I'll tell you what, man, the old lady, she was like not having none. She was looking for how the hell do we get out of this place? We had that freaking spear was only 2 miles from us, and it took about 35 minutes to get there. And that was taking an Uber.
Oh.
I wasn't no way I was going to drive in that shit. And he says, you'll probably want to go somewhere else to get picked up because Uber drivers are canceling picking up people here because it's so crazy. And I was like, oh shit. So we had to walk from there to the Venetian, I think. Yeah, the Venetian, which is a masterpiece inside. Beautiful, beautiful place. And yeah, we had to. So we got there and we found a place to call an Uber. Well, we go to this place in there that said it was an Uber pickup. So we, waited, and the car never showed up. Come to find out, we were at the wrong goddamn place. So we had to go to the right place and call it again. Oh, it was a nightmare. It really was. The way they had that place set up. It's just, everything is confusing.
Well, so not only will you not fly again, but you may not go to Vegas again?
Well, I'll tell you, not if it's tore up like it was, man. That's for real. I mean, I've been there before, and I know it's a little difficult to get around, but there's no reason for it to be like it was. I mean, you got to understand, they had the place totally tore up. I mean, it was just like roads would be one way one day, another way another day, or later that same day, or a road that wasn't blocked off is now blocked off and another one is open. I mean, the GPS would take you to the same place a different time each time. And they don't warn you. They're constantly taking lanes away from you. And of course, when you're in that kind of congestion, it's damn near impossible to get over into the right lane in time, you know. So then you got to reroute. And that's a pain in the ass. It's just wow. I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe set something up to have here in the Shenandoah
Can you hear me
Valley.
now?
What's that? So yeah, I'm thinking I might set something up in the spring or something. At the Yogi campground here in the Your microphone is making terrible noise. What is that rubbing against? Hello? Moon bounce. I don't know where he went. Okay. He's probably going to reconnect. So, what was I talking about? Totally forgot. Wow. Somebody help me out. Let me see what we got. Let me go into the chat here. Somebody help me out. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, I was thinking like the Yogi Bear Park would be cool because, you know, it's they got cabins. They have a water slide and a big pool and shit. Another cool place would be Cooter's Garage. They have a campground there, and usually there's music anyways on a weekend. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. I want to see what's all involved in just, you know, just having an impromptu thing. People bring your stuff, hang out, and a lot of stuff to see in my area. A lot of history, Blu-ray Caverns, Newmarket Battlefield, Skyline Drive, all that's right here. So it'd be kind of neat for people. We'll see what's going on with it. What are you talking about? Oh, it's the snow. Are you talking about snow, Miss Barbara? We haven't had any yet, and don't even start talking about it. Swim, Exxon, Eagle Pass, Texas. Yes. So it's, I don't know. There's something about this. I've had this feeling like waiting for the other shoe to drop for quite some time. And despite the distractions, I mean, so, you know, people come on and went, oh my God, they're attacking American bases in the Middle East. And I was like, well, of course they are. Of course they are. You know, you didn't see this all coming. I've been telling everybody about this for a long time, you know, and here it is. So I don't know what they're going to do with it. What's Lisa got going on here? Oh, yes, it is. It is really a beautiful area. People would love it. Brookside's just down the road, too. Brookside Restaurant from Yogi. But yeah, there's a lot of shit to see, a lot of shit to do. And plus it's good old country mountain air. That's what people need. No longer on the ball. Mrs. Tribune, did you ever get that microphone working? Oh, yeah. I was going to ask her about that, too. How'd that? Or maybe you have to get a new one. I don't know. I got this as a Samson G-Force microphone, and I love it. It's got a dual input. I can plug a guitar into the other side of it, but I have to wear headphones when I do that. But other than that, you know, shit. It's got omnidirectional. You can set it for unidirectional. It's less than $100, I'm sure. Yeah, they are. You know, Rocky, that's crazy. I just watched that movie last night after my stream. I watched Wag the Dog. And they are absolutely doing that. They're trying to keep our attention away from what's really going on. Because I think it's awful damn funny. And here's another thing that I found really kind of disturbing. And it's like really Twilight Zone level shit. That here we are, after engaging so long into a campaign against weapons of mass destruction, that we're actually going to help Israel with a plan to pump tunnels in Palestine with nerve agent. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, you watched it too, Rocky? Yeah, it's a great movie. It really is. And there you see that little infighting where the CIA is trying to disrupt his little plan said, "Oh, the war's over. We've negotiated peace and all that shit." Yeah, yeah. And you see all that type of shit happening. But yeah, this was a. Let me pull these up. These are a couple pictures I had from there. There's made it back.
Hey, you'd think the nerve of those people to be pumping nerve gas in those tunnels.
Well, isn't that like against Geneva Convention? You know, I mean, I was always taught that, even when I was in the Army, that the use of chemical, biological, or biological weapons was against the Geneva Convention because of the horrors of World War I, right?
I know it's all different, until it's your turn to do it, and then it's justifiable. I remember that time that reporter was sniffing that backpack going, "Yeah, it smells like nerve gas on this bad boy."
Yeah, you know what? You can't smell nerve gas. I was the nuclear, biological, chemical warfare NCO for my unit in Germany. All right. I know about this shit. It's odorless, colorless, tasteless. The only way that you know you've been hit by it is you start suffering the effects of it. That's how bad this shit is.
Really? So how fast does it take before you realize you're out? Like when you really suffer the effects of it?
You have
just fall down?
Well, you have to know that that's always a possibility. So if you're in that scenario, you know that that's always a possibility. You got to be aware of the initial signs, which is a tightening of the chest, a twitching of skin in exposed areas, slight headache, nausea. If you have these are your initial effects of nerve gas, and then you want to, of course, put on. In our case, it was the M17A1 chemical protective mask. You definitely, if you can't do that, you want to get the fuck up out of that area for real.
So does it go through your skin, or do you have to really breathe it in?
It can go in transdermally, yeah, easily. Yeah.
Well, so I guess if there's a run on big fans, they'll know their secret's out. Because I grabbed some fans and put them in there, pointed back out.
Well, and that's the whole thing. You know, which way is it coming out? You could be thinking you're blowing it out, and you're actually sucking it in. That's the beauty. And then
the right direction,
We used to use what was called an M8 sniffer, a chemical alarm, and that thing would detect it and set off an alarm. So those would be usually set up around our perimeter and within our sight. But other than that, man, it's some scary shit. Some of the stuff they've got, man. Blood agent. This is another chemical weapon that just makes you start bleeding out of every orifice of your body until you just bleed to death. Of course, the yellow rain, which is basically a liquidized form of mustard gas. That's just
mustard.
Yeah, bleach and chlorine. You can make mustard gas yourself. Bleach and chlorine, bleach and ammonia. I'm sorry, bleach and ammonia. Bleach and ammonia together will kill some people, man.
Yeah, so why do you think they're like, well, I mean, I know it's like that PSYOPs thing, but why do you think they're actually bringing it up and even speaking about gassing people when, the first thing that's going to come up is like, you can't do that. So why do you think they're even talking about it? Just because it's tunnels and it's the...
Yeah, well, it's fear, it's anger. It's also a test to see how far can they push the American people? How far can they push the people of the world? How much attention is everybody really actually paying? Can we just do this under your nose and you not say anything about it? Now, whether or not they actually carry it out, that's another story altogether. But I think that it's a lot also to generate fear. There's also been propaganda stories about these Hamas fighters being caught with recipes for chemical weapons in their possession. And they're on like laminated cards. I mean, like they're doing Betty Crocker recipe trading in the field or some shit. Get out of here with that.
You know what trips me out too is They actually, those posters are that they claim that the kidnap victims are on. Those are like massive stickers that they're like sticking on things. They're not just posters that they're like, nailing onto a telephone pole of kidnapped people. They're actually full-fledged stickers with some serious glue. Because you see people trying to peel them things off. They're not just tapped on stuff. Those things are glued on good.
I don't
On a
get
on
it.
a on a kidnap sticker in the United States, like
Wait, what do you mean? It's a sticker of what now?
of like kidnapped victims. What they said Hamas has kidnapped people,
Yeah.
and so people are like pulling them down at like universities and stuff, and people are getting mad at them, going, "How dare you pull them posters down?" But they're not. They're stickers, man. It's like, who makes kidnap stickers to put them on places in the United States of something that's going on? Like,
Yeah.
how do they even know that person's kidnapped? And who's making that sticker?
It's
To
over.
put,
They're overdoing the propaganda. You can always tell when they overdo it. And that's part of it right there. They really want this to be known. They want this to put out. They're going to put it in places where it's going to be the most receptive. In liberal universities, that's going to be one of those
yeah.
places. But what they're not counting on is that people for years now have really started to recognize what Israel is really about, what that whole thing is really about, and they don't see Israel as having the high ground like we're supposed to.
But they're fighting back even harder because if you've noticed that all of the people that were like all about free speech and stuff, about all the other stuff that's been happening, are now like totally against free speech. If you speak out against, like, let's say Israel, now you don't have the right to speak now. And the people that were fighting for free speech, that's how bad I've seen it getting. Is those people now are claiming that you should lose your job if you speak for like pro-Palestine or something.
Yeah.
You should be canceled. You shouldn't get your free speech.
See, that's bullshit. That's just like they are actually locking people up in some countries in Europe. All I'm going to say on that is that there is a lot of power within the hands of a very underrepresented group of people. If you have to pass laws that if you question events that may or may not have happened between 1935 and 1945 in Europe, then you can go to prison in some countries. Now, I've never seen truth having to be protected by law, but when I see the Lady Doth protest too much, that's when I start to really wonder. And that reminds me, let me find this thing.
Yeah, because speaking of that, they're like, I think they're doing something like that in Denmark and stuff, that they're making up laws that if you speak up against this, you can like get in some serious trouble and get fined and stuff like that. I think I could be wrong, but
that's the wrong one. Damn it. That's the wrong one. Dead. Let's see. It was this one. Here we go. All right. So is this the one that I meant to have? Okay. So yeah, this is a tweet that I found. This is pretty good. And it's right on topic what we're talking about here too. So let me pull this up real quick. So the tweet itself says right here, it says, flat Earth is becoming a concern for the powers that be. Why are they so worried about the growing number of flat earthers? So this was kind of a little short thing real quick. You can all see that, right? I got to make sure sometimes when I go over here and take a look. Let me hit my live button so I know where I'm at. Yeah, good. We can see it. So check this out.
And the number of people who think so is growing. Thousands, if not millions of people believe the world is flat.
And it's the subject of tonight's special report. WCIA3's Aaron Eads is here with us now. And Aaron, as far as conspiracy theories go, flat Earth theory is actually getting pretty popular. Yeah, believe it or not, the number of people who believe the Earth is flat is actually growing. Scientists might have an idea of why that is, and it's worth talking about. And what better place to do so than one of the flattest places in the country, right here in central Illinois. But there are ideas that this is a sham. NASA, a fraudulent organization bent on siphoning your tax dollars. The moon landing didn't happen.
Those iconic blue marble images seen from space, fakes.
You start seeing words like composite or animation or something that tells you this is not an actual photograph of the Earth.
The biggest concern with the flat Earth movement is how fast it's gaining steam. Scientists are worried that flat Earth could become a political issue like climate change, vaccination, or evolution. Guys.
All right. Fascinating stuff. All right, Aaron, thank you.
Very.
Now, why would they be so concerned? That's my question.
Well, it's that they're calling it political instead of scientific.
Yeah. Why is it political? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like the other thing they were saying. There was something at the end of that they were talking about too. It's like, well, that's scientific. That's not political. Why would they be politicizing? But I mean, I guess that's the way it all is now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm like, well, where are you getting this? This is a political issue. How does it turn out to be a political issue, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get too far back in what happened last night, but I was like researching that law that they say Barack passed or whatever, but what it did was give like a CEO from the White House. That has to be a representative now that's over all of the news or the media. That when that got put in, it's like, so that just like politicalized everything in some aspect right there of going, there's one person, a CEO that's directed or picked by the White House to be over the news media, and the media would get put out to people where they were saying, you could get propagandized or lied to, but it just makes it political in my aspect too, that it's a White House person, and that's all politics from the White House.
Sure. So I got to share this public announcement with everybody. So y'all pay attention. This might save your life.
All right. So this is the UN Peacekeepers helmet. And it's level 3 ballistic. So it's going to stop most pistol rounds and even like some rounds like a 55 grain 5.56, but won't stop any military rounds or most American hunting rounds. So to the tens, if not hundreds of million rifle owners that are out there, if you have like 175 grain 308 7.62x5.1 or like the M855, any of those will zip right through it. So all of you with American hunting rifles, it's just really great information to have.
So all right. Keep that in mind. 62 grain and above, y'all. 62 grain and above. That's the green tips now. That's the green tips. You want to use the green.
So you think that's on the label of that vest? Good for 62 and above?
Oh no, I just happen to know that. A standard hunting round though, a 308, that'll take care of it, no problem. That's a 7.62 NATO round right there. You see, most NATO is 5.56, but they're starting to want to go. I heard the military was going to try to go with a 6.5 millimeter, some new round or something. And I was like, no, 5.56 is all right. Okay, you can put out a lot of rounds downrange. It can be quite devastating, and it's easier to carry a lot of ammo. You start getting up into the heavier ammunition and you start feeling it when you're carrying it. See, it's one thing to have big guns and big ammo. It's another thing to be humping that fucking shit up and down hills through the forest and whatnot, So I'd rather be at least mobile and light and still be able to take care of business. Of course, I got just about everything from 22 up to 45. I don't have a 50 cal. I have no need for a 50 cal. So that's how to do something. So people have asked me why I don't teach. Okay. Because I would probably be somewhat like this guy.
I want to be an astronaut.
Oh, you want to be an astronaut? Well, that's great. You can be an astronaut. All you have to do is study flying or science, and maybe someday you could be the first astronaut to walk on the moon.
No! There already was an astronaut who first walked on the moon.
Well, no, not really. That wasn't real. See, there was this thing called the Cold War, and in order to beat the Russians, we kind of faked that. That never happened. See how there's no windows on the side? And see underneath where there's like a pod thing? What's that, right? Take a look at this wreckage. See how there's no plane parts on the ground there? What does that look like?
A missile. I want to be an astronaut.
I thought that was cute. Like, yeah, no shit, man. It's what I do.
Shoot, that's exactly why we need teachers like that.
They will not allow it, my man. You know they will not allow it. It's like that's why they have their curriculum. And even this is what pisses me off, man. People say, I'm going to homeschool. And so then they get a curriculum that they're supposed to follow. It's like, that's not what it look. You just teach your children. Okay, it's that simple. You don't have to be standardized to any test or any other stupid shit. This is the problem that we're in. This is why everything's fucked up, is because everything is trying to be standardized, man. And consequently, this is another thing too, is you're really getting bottom of the barrel people in any kind of jobs in employment. And the reason behind that is because people that are like lumps of potatoes and never done anything have absolutely no kind of background whatsoever, right? So they don't know jack shit, and they put them in a job and they still don't know jack shit. But hey, at least they got a clean record. You know, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Some of that shit. People have got that stigma. They say, oh, you have a criminal record. No, I have a code violations. Okay, I have code violations, and I've never hurt anybody. I've never committed a crime. Okay. So get that shit out of here with me. I don't even play that. So I guess, like I said, people are getting ballsy. Did you see the guy that stood up at the Hillary Clinton? She was campaigning for Sheila Jackson Lee I guess she's running for mayor of some city. I don't know, probably. You know where you know who Sheila Jackson Lee is, right? She's that one that said that an AR-15 weighs as much as 3 moving boxes, and it fires 50 caliber bullets at 1,000 a second. She literally said that shit. And now she's running for mayor of someplace. And anyway, this guy stood up in the audience and asked Hillary why her husband had been to Epstein Island 26 fucking times. I thought that was kind of cool. Did you see that, Moonbounce?
No, I seen the one where the dude got up and started asking her to renounce that warmonger speech that Biden gave or something.
Yeah.
That's the one I seen.
I'm pretty sure this is the I got that one too. I almost forgot about that one because this one right here, they drug this dude out and almost pulled his shirt off, dragging him out. Watch this.
Oh no.
Then you want somebody who's going to get up every day.
Fuck, I hate her voice. Her voice is so terrible. It just sends like nails down a chalkboard to me. I can't. That's how evil I know she is. God.
Then you want somebody who's going to get up every day.
Hey, Hillary, why'd your husband visit Epstein Island 26 times?
Is this really necessary?
This is a big boy too, man. That ain't like, somebody like me. This guy's got some girth on him, man. Look at him pulling this guy.
Is this really necessary, guys? Is this really necessary? Is this really necessary, sir? Hey, is this necessary, officer? You guys are dragging a grown man. Is this necessary? Seriously, come on. Hey, is this necessary, guys?
Don't hit me, man. You guys are dragging somebody out in
You're not welcome. Private event.
You decide.
Why do you guys support like just endless government spending,
I mean, she's giving more money to white people in Ukraine than you freaking idiots in Houston keep voting for. Watch out. Endless money to Ukraine, endless money for Israel. She's not anti-establishment. You guys vote for the same shit over and over again. Same crime. It's going to be just like Chicago. You guys love this shit. All right, you have a blessed day, sir. Have a nice day.
That's messed up, man. More and more people are just balling up and just going ahead and saying what the fuck they want, you know? Yeah, he is. He's corn fed. That dude that wasn't no easy task getting him out of there. I guarantee you that. Better than
Then you want somebody.
But that Hillary, oh my God, I can't stand it. Here's this is kind of a cool. This was that damn Las Vegas eye. This is kind of creepy, actually. It didn't do that when I was there. And Dan said it did, but my back didn't do it. So maybe there's a good thing for that. That's freaky, man. That's freaky. What was she saying, Deborah? Hillary was saying something? When she was arrested and Kiefer on ice until her tribunal and died and go peacefully into the night, either from my understanding. Oh, Hillary? Yeah, there's a couple Hillarys, I'm sure of it. There's been little short ones, taller ones, fat ones. I think there's about 4 or 5 of them. I don't know. I can't tell with these idiots, man, what they got going on. This I found really interesting. I'm going to play this and then I want some people to talk to about this. You can see what we got going on here. It says we live in a bankster controlled scripted world. And just like Smith was saying a little bit ago, scripted, somehow interesting. 2:32 is the time on this thing. It even depicts Hamas fighters paragliding over Israel. Everything they do is scripted and in plain sight. And I think he goes on to, it's a Rothschild-owned magazine. So check this out.
As the banksters and the globalist types, the Rothschilds, all these types, are setting all this stuff up. And actually, they've been doing this for centuries. And no one ever notices it's them. It's incredible. But all you need to do is look at their publications. The Rothschilds own the Economist magazine, and they actually put out all these hints on their front covers. And they've been doing this for like decades. I actually pay attention to their covers because it tells you what's going to happen in the next few years, a few decades. So they actually plan these things out well in advance. And here's the Economist cover from January 2013. So about 10 years ago. And it says, "A rough guide to hell." Now, if you zoom in a little bit, there's a Hamas guy in a paraglider fighting with Netanyahu. How did they know? You've got the devil there standing at a machine called climate change, which is how they're actually controlling and ruining the world using that psychological operation. They knew that 10 years ago. The word climate change wasn't even much of a word 10 years ago. They used to always call it global warming until it became clear that it's getting much, much colder almost everywhere. And this is all documented, by the way. But 10 years ago, they already knew it was going to be climate change, not global warming. And that's how they really are. That's their main sort of control mechanism at the moment, which is a total lie, which all their things are, including the COVID. And look on the bottom right, if you zoom in, got Barack Obama in there in a pride boat, which again, I have to say, 10 years ago, the whole gay pride thing wasn't that well known. But they had already slipped it in that's what they're going to be doing. What have we seen over the last few years? All this pride stuff everywhere. Everyone's got a pride flag now, right? And they have Obama in the boat basically saying it's a number of different hidden, there's so many hidden things in here. You could actually look in this for weeks and still find stuff. You got Obama in the pride boat, which has a number of different meanings. One of them is that he's obviously gay. He's married to a transvestite, a tranny called Michael Obama. It's actually not even his real name. Obama isn't even his real name. He's Barry Soetoro is his real name. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. But anyway, this is all in the cover of the Rothschilds magazine 10 years ago.
So there, right in your face. just like we're always talking about. Everything.
You think they planned it?
What's that?
You think they planned it?
As the banksters.
Yeah, it's all scripted. Do you have the Flat Earth app?
No.
Okay, because today's featured video, and I've shown it on here before, was a video from the BBC, and this thing was from the 1960s, and it had Donald Pleasance is in it. It's only about 25 minutes long, and it's this guy. He goes in to get hired from this company to write the news for 5 years from there. And he's like, what? And the guy says, oh, yeah. And he takes him in and shows him how, oh, yeah, here's how we faked this rocket launch. And here's how we faked this invasion of this beach and blah, 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 blah. And everything had been faked. And he got the idea that all the news is just scripted. It's called News Benders. I think I can probably find it.
So why don't you think that movie, was it Dark World or something, doesn't get as much as attention as that Roddy Piper movie, They Live or whatever?
Dark World. What is that? Hold on, that sounds familiar to me.
Well, I think it's a movie. Well, I know it's a movie, but I think that's the name of it. It's like, yeah, it's almost like there was these people, and they were like the Men in Black, but they were like, I guess, albino type people that had like the humans enslaved in this city that would change and stuff like that when they wanted it to or something. I could be wrong on the name of it, but, especially the way that things are going.
Well, not long ago, Dark City is what Push Buttons is talking about. Push Button 62 says Dark City. Might be the one you're talking about then.
Yeah, Dark City.
I don't think I've seen that. This is for anybody that's interested. I'm going to put this in the chat. This is the little short movie. It's only a half hour long, called The News Benders. It's from 1968. I highly suggest watch it. It'll blow your mind. And they were throwing it right out in our face back then, and that's what really gets you, is it, people are like, whoa, wouldn't that be crazy if that was really happening? And it's like, how many times have we said that and then later find out, oh my God, they are fucking doing that. Yeah, Demolition Man, Truman Show, Idiocracy. Have you seen Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds? It's funny, but it's like a cross between the Truman Show, The Matrix. I see on levels where there's the whole story of God, the devil, and Adam and Eve in there. It's just what it is basically this non-player character in a video game. Every day his life is exactly the same, right? And he starts gaining sentience a little bit. And he notices that there's people that come in, and this whole place where he lives is like Vice City, like that Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And there's people like paragliding and shooting shit up and, robbing banks and stealing cars, and there's car chases and shit all the time. And to him, this is normal. This is how it always goes. But the people that do that, he calls them the sunglasses people, because they have these special glasses on. And during a confrontation, he ends up putting on a pair of the glasses right from the They Live, right? He puts these things on, and all of a sudden he notices like these med kits, money floating over a guy who's been shot over here, just like you see in a video game. And he's able to do things that the people with the sunglasses, the players, are able to do. And it's pretty crazy, because then the video game people are trying to figure out who hacked into the program and had this character with no personal identity to him.
Man, why do I keep thinking right now that Ross is watching his orgasming? And
who? I didn't hear who you said. You keep scraping the microphone each time.
Oh, it's me walking. I guess the wind. No, who was the guy last night? Is his name Rasta?
Yeah, Rasta Berry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like when you were talking about this, my mind is like, if Rasta's listening, he's probably having an orgasm. You talking about that? What you're talking about?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And pride matches started once again. The news is just to push agendas. Absolutely, it always has been. It's just a propaganda wing of the government. And we had the audacity to think, we would always accuse the other governments of the world, primarily Russia, of propagandizing their citizens, pushing their agenda through their education system. I mean, I remember learning all about this shit, even in the army, how these communists, that's what they do. And we'd have the audacity to think that we don't do that. That's not what we do, though. And when you just step back and look at it, it's like, the fuck, it's not. It's exactly what you do. I mean, our news, we have what? 3 different brands of Pravda? I mean, come on. And anybody that's coming out with pamphlets or anything like that would be to the contrary to the propaganda line put out by the Ministry of Truth, they're hunted down, silenced. Maybe not as brutal as it was done, but in some cases, perhaps, could be called Dark City. I don't know. Somebody find out what this movie is so we can figure it out. Dad gummit. That's what we want to know, like immediately.
Hey, I thought I seen some pictures in the past where in the public schools in America that they used to hold their arms straight out with their palm like extended out with their fingers pointed, kind of like how the Germans used to do it, but I don't think we used to click our heels together.
It was always that's a salute. That's all that is a salute. This and this are all salutes. Okay. And yes, American children said the Pledge of Allegiance like this prior to events that may or may not have occurred between 1936 and 1945 in Europe. That was demonized. See, there's been a lot of effort to turn that into the good war. Okay. And this is part of the propaganda that goes along with it. And we celebrate Grandpa hitting the beach at Normandy or at Iwo Jima. And, that took some balls to do that, but they were under a different impression as to what was really going on. And if you look at it from the world stage of events, you will see that George Patton was right. We've been fighting the wrong sons of bitches the whole time. And what he meant by that, when he realized that beyond the propaganda, that Germany's enemy was the communists, Italy's enemy were the communists, Japan's enemies were the communists. Who were we? We had the most communist president in U.S. history in office, seemingly endlessly, FDR. His wife or husband or whatever it was, a known communist socialist sympathizer. And then, of course, Churchill and Uncle Joe, head of the Soviet Republic, right? You see what was really going on.
Nobody really knew who Roosevelt's wife was?
What's that?
Nobody really knew who Roosevelt's wife was?
Well, supposedly she was a second cousin. And her name was Eleanor Roosevelt prior to marrying him. But she looks an awful lot like a dude. And if she wasn't a dude, I think she was more familiar with the female persuasion because she had a good female friend that she would come here to Luray and stay with at the Mimsland Hotel, downtown Luray. And it's her suite is still there. They have it named after her.
No way. People go to that too, probably.
Oh, they do. They do. Go in here and strap on some plastic peckers and go to town,
That's not right.
Go in here and start smashing fish biscuits, right? Let's do this thing. I don't know. I don't understand it. Not my place to. Doesn't interest me.
Think they may or may not have happened between 34 and 45.
Yeah, right. So you've got that whole aspect of the we actually assisted in spreading communism through Europe and through Asia. And there was hell to pay for it after that too, because if you look at what was the fight in Korea supposedly about, the communist Chinese in the north with the communist North Koreans, and we of course have to take up the other side. That was a, how should I say, like a test run of UN, because that was actually like a UN peacekeeping thing that we were doing there. There was people there from all NATO countries in Korea at the time. We had Australians, Canadians, British, French, US, and this is right after the big Normandy success and everything like that. First time that the leader of one military was put in charge of several countries' militaries at one time. It's kind of a shaky baton to pass on, but they did it. It seemed to be successful, and it opened the door for UN operations and these declared wars. We're always at war. We just don't declare war. We haven't declared war since 1941. So, but we seem to always be at war. I don't know what's behind all that. Well, I do. It's the industrial military complex, man. They're making big bucks off that. And it's a sacrifice of the firstborn about every 20 years. Good night, Mrs. Tribune. So this is an interesting thing. Gravity is a hoax. This is an MIT professor. Thought this was kind of interesting too.
Notice that there is a clear parallel with gravity. Newton's law of gravity, that the force, which in that case is always attracting, gravity never repels, is the product of two masses. And then you have here the gravitational constant, and again you have the distance square. So there is an enormous parallel between the two. It's a great beauty that electricity acts in a way that is very parallel to the way that gravity works. If you compare electricity with gravity, you will see that electric forces are way more powerful than gravitational forces. If now I compare the electric force with the gravitational force, so I divide one by the other, notice that the d cancels. They both have d squared downstairs. And so you will easily be able to show that this ratio is roughly 10 to the 36. So the electric force is 36 orders of magnitude more potent than the gravitational attraction. This teaches you some respect, perhaps, for 802. If these were the only forces that acted on the protons, and you bring them in the nucleus, which has a size of only 10 to the minus 12 centimeters, then the acceleration that the proton will experience is the electric force divided by the mass of the proton, F equals ma, basis of 801. And if you take this electric force, when you make d 10 to the minus 12 centimeters, which is 10 to the minus 14 meters, and you calculate this ratio, you will find that it is 26 orders of magnitude higher than the gravitational.
Hang on, there's a part two. Uno momento, si vous plaît. Look at there, I use Spanish and
Notice that
French together. There we go, hold on.
higher than the gravitational acceleration on Earth. 26 orders of magnitude higher. So you wonder what the hell holds the nucleus together? If there is such a tremendous force on these protons. Well, what is holding them together are the nuclear forces, which we do not fully understand, But thank goodness, the nuclear forces are not part of 802. So I'll leave that alone for now. So what holds our world together? Well, on the nuclear scale, 10 to the minus 12 centimeters, very important are the nuclear forces. On an atomic scale, up to thousands of kilometers, it's really electric forces that hold our world together.
It's really electric forces that hold our world together.
It is, and we're electric, man. Everything is electric. Everything, man. What do you think about that, Moonbounce? Rocky says that's a gray-haired, absent-minded professor look-alike. Maybe he's the original, Rock. He might be the original.
Hey, I think that that electric slide came about at the club for a reason. I mean, I think that we are electric, and even though some people in the universe are about the universes, I in some way think that this universe that people talk about is actually electric. That it's just all electricity. That's what the power of. I almost want to say, without getting too like in the religious thing of like a Holy Spirit of it's like electric. It's just electricity. It's what the power is. The power is that of electricity.
Kind of like that spark of life.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like in some way it's all electricity based. Even when people would say that, in the gravity thing, it being like electric gravity is that, I think that, all atoms or whatever, they're charged. Everything has an electric charge to it, even atoms. And if they say atoms gather enough together to attract themselves to each other, is to claim that, that still in itself is gravitational electricity. If atoms are charged, they're charged up. Atoms have an electric charge. Every atom is charged. So even if
you can actually change that too in some instances, like
you get rid of an electron and it'll make it positive or negative, but they're charged up.
Peter says gravity is a god for the atheist. Yeah, right. It doesn't, and that's really something that doesn't exist. Look, I explain it like this. Look, gravity is just weight. Okay, you change the medium, you change the gravity or the weight. It's that simple. Okay, the weight is nothing more than the quantification of relative density within a medium. That's it. Okay, once you change the medium, you change that, right? I think that it's all buoyancy and density, and these electrostatics set the condition.
Yeah, because I think that guy's right. I mean, I don't have any reason to disagree with him, for one, that it's electricity that holds this place together.
There's Boston Rays in here tonight. I got this big old chunk of hash. Did I tell you about that? I left that I thought I had lost it, right? Because I went down to jam with Mojo and all them, and I was going to take this big old chunk of hash that somebody gave me, and I was going to go down there and smoke it with these guys and shit, right? Well, I didn't have it with me, and I was like, oh, shit, I thought I lost it until I got back to Virginia. In my carry-on, inside of this cigar box thing, like music box that I found, and I bought it at this little store, in one of the little compartments was this little ball of hash inside some cellophane. I was like, oh, fuck. I carried that right on the plane with me. But then to make matters worse, when I opened up my suitcase and my checked bag, I had weed in there from the dispensary. And it was still there, but TSA had been in my luggage. They left a little paper saying they had been in my luggage and looked through it. I was like, well, ain't that cool? Thanks for leaving my weed, though, right? I was like, I got to say, that's a good one. Yeah, hit that like button. That's right, Natasha. Good to see you, Natasha. So, yeah, that was pretty crazy. It's magical hash. It is. It is indeed. I still got some. It's in there. We'll probably smoke on that here after a little bit. Say all right-handed. It's all right-handed. What? Invitigate? the direction of the spin of particles. It's all right-handed. Right hand spins, right? Right on. So here's a little bit of fear about your phone. This guy took and put a ring of steel wool around his phone. This is kind of scary. And then he turned it on to ring. So watch.
Steel wool. That is steel wool. Going on fire. Look that up on YouTube, kids. Steel wool. That is steel wool.
That's kind of disconcerting. I'm going to have to try that. I want to see if that actually works. Everybody saw that, right? It came up. Hello?
I've seen it.
Okay. Everybody was able to see it then. Let me see. I'll go back just a little bit.
It looked like it would do if you put it to like a 9-volt.
Yeah, and that thing, I don't believe it was touching anywhere either. No, it's not. It's not even touching it. It's just in a ring of it. Because look.
Going on fire. Look that up on YouTube, kids.
I mean, I don't like to put my phone up to my head anyways. I usually use it with speaker if I talk on it.
I know, me too. I keep mine next in my front pocket. No, I don't.
I keep mine in my left back pocket, and I never broke a phone ever before, never cracked a screen. I run across people all the time that they're like looking at, here, they'll show you something on their phone and go, hey, take a look at this shit. And you look and it's like, how the fuck can you even see that? It looks like you're looking into a broken mirror or something, man. Oh, 11.
You wonder why it's why they have Band-Aids on their fingers. Right?
Right, you're constantly, ow, fuck. Yeah, infections and shit. I know, man. Oh, here's some fakey space shit. What's this? Look at here. This is China. This is China in space, y'all. You ready for this? You guys are going to love this shit. And I'm going to hit my bomb.
是白色的是云还是蓝？哦，这里是王亚平建议他们来一个最美后拍，对，还有合影哈。谁的影子在翻板上呢？谁的影子在翻板上？这应该是谁的影子？
顺着脚底下往下一看，我的天，这家伙太深了，老远了，这是生箭笔呀！啊，我得可有抓住啊，再一松手人就没了。 一看这飞船也是悬浮的，一看地球也在天上悬着，无依无靠啊！看着地球得多安全，怕地球得飘跑。
Those of you that don't know Chinese, he's saying that it was wonderful to eat General Chow's chicken while in a weightless environment.
哇，这景象太美丽了！我们现在看到
Number 42. Number 42.
哦。
Pork fried rice.
You have fried rice? You have fried rice? Number 42. I just feel like I'm in a re-education camp in Vietnam someplace, and they start calling up the orders in those joints, man. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm here. I got it.
Man, what went through my mind right off the bat when you started that, I was like, started thinking right when they started talking, I was like, man, this is racist.
No, that's their whole thing. You don't dare question. See, they don't even have to try in China, right? They don't even have to. What are you going to say? That's fake. They'll come kill you, right? You're not going to run into any dissent whatsoever. People are just going to go, oh, okay, yeah, that was really awesome. Yeah.
It was like Stossel telling that one wrestler that it was fake and got smacked upside his head twice.
Yeah. Of course, that might have been fake too. Yeah, we're supposed to believe this is real. All right, let's hear it for the Chinese, everybody. Everybody, let's hear it. Yay! Doing the masters, baby. Doing the masters.
白色的是云还是蓝？
Hello.
哦，这里
Holy shit. It was SpaceX has the coolest CGI. I don't know. That was pretty hard to top. But here it says it's SpaceX. does a better job.
G'day, guys. This SpaceX shit just makes me laugh. Have a look at this big flying dildo, will you? And here's Elon Musk, the Freemason, looking like a little boy on Christmas morning. He skips around like a little girl and runs outside to add some drama. Now, you can easily see where it switches from real to CGI. Wait for it. Right there. Now you just add some blurs and keyframe some wobbles and away we go. It's easy, isn't it? Have a look at this shit. Nothing more than pure CGI. Have a look at these actors with their phones out. Where's the bloody iPhone vision, mate? I can't find it anywhere. Then we cut back to the rocket. Have a look at it. Have you ever seen a cameraman that steady anywhere in the world? Unbelievable. Have a look at it. It doesn't move the whole trip. Impossible. Now, point to the sky, fellas, for dramatic effect. Thanks, boys. Then at the 4-minute mark, we cut to this camera. Who the bloody hell's filming that, mate? A drone? Oh, give me a break. Now we're coming back to Earth. We perfectly land just where we started, and we cut to the same rocket sitting there spilling out smoke as it did before, except it's missing its stand. Where's the stand gone, fellas? It was here 4 minutes ago. Seriously, this is child's play to pull apart.
I love those when they do a breakdown of all the fucking cuts and edits and shit that they have in there. But I got to say that was better than the Chinese, you know, at least a little bit. How do you explain this shit? What do you think about this? A lot of people have been posting this recently. Check this out. The world's going on there, man. It's probably a mirage, right? It's most likely a mirage. That would be my guess. What do you think, Moonbounce?
Well, I'd almost want to claim it was the moon.
Wow, yeah, maybe.
It's on the red side, but, you know, I'll bounce that around for a little bit in my brain.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know what to think. I'm like, wow, you know, this kind of blows me away. You know, if indeed it's actually real. This is pretty funny too.
The design of nominal and contingency missions is the job of the Mission Planning and Analysis Division, MPA. The accomplishment of this task, alternate trajectories must be designed to handle these possibilities. The design of nominal and contingency missions is the job of the Mission Planning and Analysis Division, MPA. The accomplishment of this task
just vanished off into the dark side, man, right there. Boom. Like turning off a switch. You know, we didn't even question that shit. We didn't. Now, how come these people aren't all locked up? Look here at this shit. How these people didn't get locked up? Look in the New York Capitol, man. Aren't they trespassing in the rotunda of the Capitol? Isn't that where all those people got? What the fuck, man? Double standards for shit, man.
That is a big double standard. But they're going to claim that those people, like, because I think some glass got broke or something last time. Some window got some damage to it, I think was it. I'm not sure if a window got damaged when those people were there.
Yeah, that was when they shot that Ashley. What was her name? Ashley Babbitt. She was climbing through that window and they shot her. They haven't said nothing to the guy who did the shooting either. He was some Capitol official of some kind. That's all you have to be, is just an official of some kind. See, here's the thing that gets me. Everybody says, "Oh, Trump never got us into a war." You forgot all about that general that he assassinated? Really? He was like the top general of Iran, and Trump fucking took him out. And they was bragging all about it. I would say that that's in fact, there was two of them. There was two of them, if I remember correctly. Let me check with my audience. It's 420 somewhere. It always is, Tommy. It always is.
But it's also like you were saying earlier, though. It's like, to say he got us into a war or didn't get us into a war, it's what you said earlier. It's like we've been in perpetual war. So who hasn't, like, either got us into a war, kept us into a war, or whatever, because it's just been perpetual.
Yeah, that's what that whole 9/11 was about, that war on terror. It wasn't meant to be won. It was meant to be prolonged, just like the war on drugs. And what you do in that sense then is you can start, who gets to decide the definition, like the war on terror. Who decides what the definition of terror is? We know how they change definitions. What they call a mass shooting is any more than like two people, and it's like, are you kidding me? That's not a mass shooting. When you say that, that means like, a dozen people or some shit, Not,
Well, Bush defined what terror was. He defined it as, if you're not with us, you're against us. So he basically defined terror with that comment right there. If you're not with us, you're against us. So terror was anybody against the United States is terrorists or terror.
Yeah. That was it. If you don't go along with our shit. And that's like what we're seeing right now with this whole event going on in the Middle East. They really count on all the Americans being behind us helping Israel. And there's really not that many people. There's a segment of our population, people that have been duped into it. You got Christians, because they saw the word Israel in their Bible. They somehow think that means you're going to have to support them. They don't understand any damn thing. Of course, our Congress, they're coerced into signing an unconditional pledge to support Israel. So, of course, it was no problem for them to get the funding. We have a treaty with Israel. It says that we give them billions of dollars in aid and weaponry every year, and they let us. So that's a pretty good treaty, I guess. Most destabilizing entity in the entire Middle East is, of course, Israel. So they literally redefined the fucking definition of vaccine. Yes, I know, to include the experimental crap when it doesn't even meet the criteria of what a true Louis Pasteur product was or is supposed to be, Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I like my paper and ink Webster's Unabridged Dictionary. It's a bit huge. It's a bit cumbersome, but nobody's coming in here and changing it unless they're Mandela burglars. Now, those guys we've been having problems with coming in and changing my Bible and shit. So I don't know. So far, I haven't run into anything that was out of the ordinary. Level still means level. It doesn't mention anything to do with, perpendicular to the curve of the earth. Well, how can you be perpendicular to, what the fuck is that? So level's just a tangent point. Get out of here. Go someplace. That nonsense. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense, man. Come on. Who does that? Right? So let me go back over going on. What? Who came out and said what? What do we got? Biden. Of course, this is an actor. This guy is not the guy I know as Joe Biden.
I think, my mother had an expression, out of everything terrible, something good will come if you look hard enough for it. I think this presents us with some significant opportunities to make some real changes. We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
Thoughts? Moon? Thoughts on that?
I'm trying to unmute myself. Yeah, my thoughts on that is, how can you unite a free world and it be free?
Right.
Because to unite, if they don't want to go along with it, they're going to be forced to go along with it. Then everybody's going to be forced into that one world order, which means you're not free. There's just no way you can be free.
Well, it's just like I've said before, if you try to make everything fair, it's just not fair, right? It's a concept that doesn't really exist. There is really no such thing as fair. It's just how the world is. And because it's subjective, that's what's fair to another man is unjust to another. You understand? So
it depends though. I mean, because that's really that fairness. To be fair is like it's painted to be a broad prospect but I mean, that's like saying, what's good to one person depending on what they believe is good, like what's good for me, but as is what's good for me, but also good for you is fair. So, I mean, in that aspect of going, in consideration, fairness can be fair if it's in a fair consideration. Just saying. So I think there is such thing as fair. It's just a lot of people confuse what the concept means according to them. If everybody got on the same page of what's good for me, good for you, but you can't please everybody.
Well, if you go by the subjective definition, like what they have in mind, it's absolutely fair for everyone to have nothing. That's how they see it. The trees were all kept equal by hatchet, axe, and saw.
They were kept equal by nature. They were actually kept equal by nature. They didn't need us cutting it down.
Well, in a Bernaysian way, what they'll do is for instance, one time I used to tease that I was going to get a hold of Al Sharpton and bring up the idea of there not being any black colored skin Band-Aids, and even sell it with the whole, oppression. Is it right for a young brother to get his ass beat by the cops and then have to cover his wounds with the skin tone of the people that oppressed him? And you can, get these people believing that black Band-Aids, not having them, it's a way to, to keep the black people down. That's all you got to do is convince people of one thing or another to get them to fight between each other instead of looking at who's really pulling the strings. See, that keeps them safe. I think one of my favorite political cartoons, it's got this king and he's up on top of the parapet of his castle and all the villagers are down there angry and they have pitchforks and torches. And his advisor's saying, you don't have to fight any of them. All you have to do is convince the pitchfork people that the torch people want to take their pitchforks. And I was like, yeah, that's all you got to do. Get them fighting amongst each other, and you ain't even got to fucking worry about it now. See, and that's what they do.
It's like saying, I don't have to run faster than the bear. I just have to run faster than you.
Right. Right. So I thought this was kind of cool too. This is the 2012 Olympics. And many of us might remember this, but it's really startling correlation as to what's going on right now. Check this out.
The 2012 London Olympics was an event full of esoteric symbolism, evoking notions tied to Illuminati and Freemason ideologies, which weaved narratives of Zionism, a so-called New Israel. The logo, designed by Freemason Wally Olins, cost the UK public $650,000. The logo itself looks more like a puzzle than a logo, which when rearranged clearly spells the words Zion. The unsettling mascots, Wenlock and Mandeville, each have a singular all-seeing eye, another emblem of Freemasonry. Attendees of the event looked up at 14 pyramid-esque towers, crowned with luminous all-seeing eye capstones which encircled the stadium. Children sang William Blake's poem, Jerusalem, as directed by filmmaker Danny Boyle, both of who have prominent links to Freemasonry. The poem declares a goal to build a new Jerusalem in England. Bizarre scenes of nurses and doctors dancing around children in hospital beds follows, foreshadowing the COVID-19 crisis which would start 7 years later. Researcher Rick Clay connected the location of the stadium to a crossing point of two ley lines, or earth energy meridians. He found all adjacent roads contained biblical references, such as Angel Lane, Temple Mills, and Carpenter Lane. At the heart of his theory, Rick believed the Olympics were not just a sports spectacle, but a meticulously planned event laden with esoteric significance. After sharing his findings on a radio show, his website mysteriously vanished. Rick was declared dead shortly after. His death was officially ruled a suicide.
Well, what do you think, man?
I don't think it was death by bong hit.
No, probably.
The 2012 London Olympics.
I felt like it sometimes, though. I've hit him pretty hard sometimes where I just, I get this wasabi thing goes on in my nose sometimes.
I mean, it's just like suicide. It's almost, but no, it's like what you were doing. You were seeing some of it in action when you were in Vegas. It's just like, can you imagine? I mean, just in like what you were saying about the structures for the stadium seating, just for the seating, and to think that isn't in some way the way it's all done, because there has to be such massive planning. There has to be, and it's almost like what really gets me sometimes when people go, they laugh off the military and stuff and go, man, if you need something screwed up, count on the military to do it, and da-da-da-da-da, and how people are like, you can't trust people to do nothing. But then, if you really paying close attention, you see things like that. And you see what planning, just how much something had to come together for that to actually take place. I mean, to even the people down on the ground dancing around with the gurney and the children and just all of that, the whole Olympic thing in general is just like, to think that wasn't planned out and that certain things weren't done on purpose and put in place to do an agenda or show a thing, or to maybe like just say have a ritual. It's basically a ritual.
Check this out. Okay, so there's the Bellagio with the famous fountains. Now, of course, this is an artist's rendition, but believe me, they have these stands right here, right now. They're there. All these things, and they're made out of like steel girders and shit, man. This is almost like it's permanent structure. See if they got any better, but yeah, see there, and there's a tramway. They really got a lot of big plans for this thing, and I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it being a profitable thing. I really don't. Let me see. Is this Yeah, this thing's going to run down past Planet Hollywood, Paris Hotel, all the way down around. This thing is going to, they've got all these roads are all fucking tore up, man. It's unreal. And they're going to close Vegas like at 5 o'clock on the day before the race or some shit like that. I'm like, how are you going to actually manage doing that? I mean,
They're going to do it, though. That's what's weird. It's almost like I don't want to get too far into like too much crazy because I don't know where you really want or allowed to go. But it's almost like you would think that, you know, in some way that Hawaii thing, like there's no way nobody could have planned that. You know, there's just no way this stuff can get planned. But all you got to do is look at an Olympics, just like look at that race that's going to go on in Vegas and think that nobody plans this stuff is like, it's like ludicrous in a way. I mean, some stuff just happens, but you know, for too many things to happen, it would be like saying, well, look, how did them grandstands get there? Well, nobody knew there was going to be a race or something. You know what I mean? It's like there comes a point when it becomes like too obvious.
Well, I don't know how anybody could not know this thing's coming. I'll tell you that. This is I mean, there is so much shit around that city and these stands. It was like I wanted to go down and look at the fountains, you know, film the fountains in front of the Bellagio. You can't get down there because it's covered up with those grandstands, and just trying to get around there is just an endless sea of like orange barrels and cones and people in vests telling you to go this way and that way. And it's really something else, man. That was enough trying to drive around there just a couple of days. I was ready to get back here. You know, I don't have to wait to get out on the road. If I want to make a left turn, I just do it, you know. There, it'd take you a month of Sundays just trying to do that, man.
So like you just like in that way, I can just picture it's almost like, I'm not saying you haven't been in that situation, but still just in that is a culture shock, right? In some way, it's like you leave and you get into all of that and then you're like, wow. And it's like trying to move and trying to go here and this and that and the other thing. And it just coming home and going, holy cow, man, that's like, it's almost like a whole nother planet, a whole nother world, a whole nother existence, a whole nother existence.
Well, I've driven around Vegas before, and you know, and yeah, it can be really busy, especially during different times of the day or when shows are getting ready to start and people are all going to them and that kind of shit. But this made it 100 times worse trying to get around. It was crazy. Your GPS would be different every time you went to the same place because it was just that rapidly changing. They have crews of people out there doing that shit like 24/7, you know. I mean, they're round the clock. Guy was telling me, man, they're hiring all kinds of people for that shit, paying big money to get that shit all fixed up, work the event and all kinds of stuff, man. So I don't know, it might be. Boston Ray said he went to Brian's bar and I left feeling relieved. Yeah, I was relieved to get out of there. But I had a good time at the same time, though. It's like, to me, I know to a lot of people that was the first time they'd probably been to Vegas, or if it, at the very least, had been a long time since they've been there. Vegas is nothing new to me. Like Tommy, he knows what Vegas is all about. And, you know, I see it for what it is, you know, and I didn't gamble a single penny the whole time I was there. I just didn't feel compelled to for any reason whatsoever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Well, just to give you an idea of how I was feeling to leave. This is a little video I did on Facebook. It was leaving Las Vegas. So we just went through this Orwellian nightmare. We went through a 20-mile rat maze in order to undress, go through, and Leanne, because she's so suspicious looking, she had to have her bags searched. She has that. See how she looks kind of Middle Eastern? That's why I had her pegged as a Hamas right off the bat. So, no shit, man. Me, I just slide through and I'm the sketchiest looking fucker in this whole airport.
Because like what didn't go through Well, I'm like the sketchiest looking fucker in this whole airport, so I don't even get stopped. So this is what we're doing. We're going down this escalator, but that was a nightmare. I've never seen anything like it. Like all the people with just dumb looks on their faces, just following in line like sheep going through chutes to a herd, like a slaughter truck or some shit, man. It's insane. I will never, ever fucking fly again. I hate this shit. Worse than anything in the world.
Yeah,
Now
man.
you know. Now you know, though. You didn't just slide through there. They knew who you was because they done already left you a note in your baggage. They were already, you'd be like, man, I don't know. I'm the shadiest person here. Don't slid through there, no problem whatsoever. They already let you go.
I
They
know,
said,
man.
let that guy go. We done searched his bags.
Yeah, he's just got some weed, no big deal. Where did I get that from? A place called Cure Leaf or something. The first night we got there, when we landed, we had a room at the Stratus and got up the next morning, and right outside the front door was a green cross. So had to go. I said, give me your top shit, man. That's what I'm after right here. And it seemed to work out pretty good. But I don't know.
What was their top stuff called? What was that top stuff called? Did it have some fancy name?
Let's see, this stuff here that I got, this was called Cosmic. And then I've got some other in there that's, we had onion rings. Oh, and I'm trying to remember what that other one was too. It was like, we were like smoking down. I only probably brought maybe just a little over a quarter ounce of pot back with me, but it's because I already got weed here, but hell, some of that special shit. Plus, look at these nice jars. I mean, these are very professional. They got the name of the place on it and everything, gives you the name. I don't know if you can see that very good. It's a clear jar, but I've already put that in the grinder and we're smoking that now. So this is a cool place though. This took me to that. Look at that. Is that not some beautiful architecture in this joint? Check this out. This place was remarkable. Very spacious. It was very palatial. Aren't used to having my kind in there. I'll tell you that.
But that looks kind of biblical, right?
It does. Yeah, this is the Venetian.
Oh, is that what Venetian means?
Well, Venice. They have gondolas. Look at that floor, dude. That is so badass. That was walking up to see that we had to go find a place to catch an Uber back from the Sphere because nobody wanted to drive down to the Sphere to get anybody. So
that floor's looking a little 3D.
That what?
The floor looking a little 3D right there. Look, it almost looks like you can step.
No, I did that. I started doing thinking like Cubert. You remember that video game?
Yeah.
I was gonna bounce on it. I was like boink, 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 boink. But I already look kind of out of place for this joint. This is kind of a high end.
All right. Wow.
So yeah, this is New York, New York. They have a roller coaster outside. That's kind of cool. See the Statue of Liberty over here and Empire State Building. I think that's what this is supposed to be, a replica of the Empire State Building. Not nearly as tall, of course, but this Hershey, you can smell that place all over the place too.
Well, that's not a drug dog.
Oh, he
is it, son? He didn't even turn his nose up.
Yeah.
Definitely not a inexpensive place to stay.
Oh, we got a special way we got to go.
Yeah, see, they make us go out those doors. We don't get to go out the premier doors because we're regular rabble. Venetian black nobility. Well, that's because Venetian black nobility lives matter, bro. You know that.
Where did those doors go?
Outside to where we had to go catch the
Oh.
Uber at.
Oh, okay.
We had to go up and find out from the front desk where we go in order to do that. So, somebody messaged me. Okay. Venetian black nobility. Hey.
What was that? What would that they call that? That centerpiece thing that was there that had like the gold rings and the little.
Oh man, I don't really
because that looks like something that they would. I think I've seen a picture of that. Like those eyes are like if those were rings and eyes were like it could see and move in directions that it could go to and fro without actually turning, and it's like all the eyes can see. Yeah, because that just looks like something biblical.
It was so symmetrical. Everything was so symmetrical. These things, look at this like an eye up here, but it's closed. You see the lids over it. And it was like that all the way around. You had the exact same, and then on the floor, really beautiful paintings and shit up there too, man. Let me see if I got that on the floor. Where there's
that thing.
Hold on. No. I got them on my camera. I have to put them up on Facebook, but there's like these marker points on the floor. And I noticed if you go to it and stand, this is the view you get of this with the archway. And if you go over here to the right, there's another one of those, and on the other side, and they're all like equally spaced. So you get this exact same view from each side. Really cool. I don't know. That kind of shit fascinates me. It's almost like I see architecture like that and I go, it's not so much like, oh, that is really cool. Although there's a lot of that. It's almost, I have this feeling like, God, I missed that. You know, and it's odd. It's like, what do you mean you missed that? You know, it's almost like it was like part of me or something. And I don't know.
Well, somebody had to think that stuff up. I mean, somebody had to plan it. Somebody had to plan it out. Like, the inspiration behind it. I mean, just that place and, hey, go stand on that dot and look and then see what you see. And then go stand over here and see what you see.
It's also perfectly symmetrical. That's what's so cool, you know? A lot of thought, a lot of planning. I'm sure it was not inexpensive at all.
How old is that place? When was it built?
It's probably been there. Well, let's see. Let's see when they built that. Venetian, Las Vegas. Go ahead. Let's see here. Lots of stuff on how to get a room there. I'm not really worried about that. We just want to know about the place. Let's see. That isn't there no Wikipedia or nothing? Come on, y'all. Fuck. There we go. Wikipedia. All right. So it's a luxury hotel and casino resort. It says located on the Las Vegas Strip in Paradise, Nevada, United States. It is owned by Vici Properties and operated by Apollo Global Management. It was developed by businessmen. I don't care. Just give us a year, man. Do we have some kind of a year? Construction on the Venetian Bay began in April 1997, and the resort opened on May 4th, 1999. Some amenities had yet to be finished, with construction continuing until the end of the year. So about 25 years it's been there. It
still looks good.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of those places don't even last that many years. Now, there's a couple of mainstays that are still there. You're never going to get rid of the Flamingo. You're never going to, there's certain ones. I was really shocked when they took down the Stardust, because that was like an iconic Vegas casino, right? But eventually that one went as well. you know, and they're always putting stuff up. I guess that dome or that sphere is the most expensive attraction ever put in Vegas. So that's kind of like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. What we got going on in here? What is he saying? Different languages, ASCII to decimal, testing 1, 2, 3 equals decimal. Okay, that's geek stuff. I don't know about it. Apollo management. Yeah, I thought so too, Rocky. Heard the flamingo was on its. It is on it. I don't know. It was still there on its last leg. I was there a few years back too, and they had a mobster exhibition going on, you know, like showing artifacts of some of the gangsters and shit. And they had Bonnie and Clyde's car there that they got shot up in. And we were there as they were taking down the display. So they took the plexiglass cage that was around the thing was gone. And I was able to actually put my head inside the car and look around and film it and shit. So, but that was years back. I've got it somewhere. Gold nuggets still there. Golden nuggets still there. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a few of them that you're never going to get rid of. You know, they're just mainstays of Vegas, I guess, you know. So, yeah, it's an interesting town. I wouldn't want to live there. It is, of course, a evil place. It's the embodiment of all 7 of the deadly sins. It really is. It absolutely is. And you see a lot of people that they made a decision to move there and live, and now they're not having such a good time. They got taken in by the glitz and the glitter, and you got to be careful. That's what the devil always uses to lure you in: the glitz and the glitter and the lights and the flash and the fancy pants. It doesn't always work out. Tommy says his mom lived in the Stardust many years ago. It's not there anymore. Yeah, I don't think that's. Yeah, I think the Stardust is gone too. Vegas mob, Catholic controlled Sin City. There you go. Probably all women dressed as men too, I would say, most likely. In fact, you know, Al Capone was actually a woman, Rocky. You might not be aware of that. Or maybe you are.
You're tripping.
I am. No, Rocky thinks that everybody's opposite sex is what they actually are on like these stars and stuff. Now, some of them he's right, but I don't know. He seems to think almost all of them are. What do you think on that, man?
I don't think that all of them are.
Oh, this is an interesting one. You guys will like this. All right. So we have all been enslaved by man-made mechanisms and systems for keeping time. This is the manipulation of calendars, clocks, and our perception of time. This is like part 6 of a whole thing. Maybe I can go back and find the beginning one, but I'm going to share this anyways because this is an interesting subject. This is why my streams never start on the actual hour or quarter hours, because I'm not going to be enslaved by a dial.
Months are not a proper unit of time, are they? A month is either 28, 29, 30 or 31 days long. In common parlance, we talk about a month being 4 weeks long, but they're not. Only February is exactly 4 weeks long, and even then, that's only true 3/4 of the time. 94% of months are longer than a month. We know exactly how many seconds in a minute, how many minutes in an hour, hours in a day, and days in a week. We even know exactly how many months in a year. But the months themselves are a mystery. They chop and change. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's talk about something real, human pregnancy. Okay, we've all learned this all our lives. We all know how many months are we told an average human pregnancy should last? 9. Very good. 9 months. Now, hands up if you are a parent. Okay, parents, how many weeks were you told on average your pregnancy would last? 40. 40 weeks is 10 bloody months, isn't it? 10 months. We've been built our whole lives. You spend your whole life as a woman thinking if you get pregnant, it'll be 9 months, and then you get there and you discover it's actually 10. You've been conned, haven't you? Let's look at the year. How many months are there in a year? 12. Exactly how many weeks are there in a year? 52. Good. However, 12 months, well, 12 times 4 is 48. And 52 minus 4 is 48. Doesn't take a genius to work out we've got 4 extra weeks. And what do 4 weeks make? A month. There are actually 13 months in a year. We are being paid for 12 months' work, and we are doing 13 months' work a year. This is outrageous. This is absolutely outrageous, and I have a solution. I have reformed the calendar. Let me be clear, it is not just the lack of rigor that I have issue with. I have another issue with months, a linguistic one. These are the months as we know them today.
I know the rest of these too. This is crazy. Let's go over and see if we can find the rest of this guy's shit. I think that's on TikTok, though. I don't know. Let's go and see what Farts of Poseidon. That's whose channel that was on. Oh, this looks interesting. Hold on. All right, so is that the one? No, that's Hillary flipping shit. I'll have to find that video on those. I have the actual full video, and we'll show that here. Let's see. That was part 6. And yeah, he doesn't have the rest of it on here. Bastard. Poop on you, Farts of Poseidon. But I run across. So yeah, we got what, 13 28-day months. Works out, man. Works out better than Tommy. Look how aggressive Tommy's being to everybody here tonight. Whoa, that's a good point. You can't trans-investigate a trans investigator that's trans investigating. Wow, yeah. I never thought of it like that, Boston Ray. Yeah, I dig on it. So on that mud flood thing, this is kind of some interesting shit too. I don't know. One of my things is hidden history. We're just fucking spitballing, playing around here tonight. It's Friday night. We're just going over shit and looking at it and smoking weed. And Tommy, it's like 4:20 someplace.
The Windy City, Chicago, and most of America is a lot older than you've been told.
Damn,
Before
right.
us inheritors founded this new world after the last reset, it went by a different name. See in all these old maps, Shilaga. Going as far back as the 15th century, you'll see where Chicago used to be, Shilaga. Like I said, America is a lot older than you've been told. It's mapped from 1492, not just predominantly showing Shilaga, but also many other cities. Castles and towns represented all up and down the new lands, long before America was a thing. Now, what was really the purpose behind all these great fires, all in the 1800s around the same time? Great fires that spare trees here, but yet completely demolish stone and brick structures. It was all about the destruction of the old world, the destruction of Shilaga. Standing right next to the unburned utility pole, you see that nice Freemason coat gesture here. And you tell me what kind of fire leaves stone in absolute rubble with no signs of scorching, and trees, utility poles here, untouched. And of course, the ever-present whited out skies in all of these photos. History is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon. And it's been going on for quite some time. Our parents, our grandparents, even our great-grandparents has all been told those set of lies agreed upon. Let's break that cycle. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
So, yeah, there's a lot to do with that. And when it was called Shilaga, we see on these old maps, there's no lake. So what happened, man? I think the geography changed, not just the Mandela effects of it, but I mean, the conditions at Antarctica giants, things like that. What really on going? You know, I think that this line of shit that they're giving us is exactly that. I saw recently there's a movie coming out about a figure that I'm getting to the idea that he didn't even really fucking exist. And that's Napoleon. And it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix. That's what you guys call him if you knew how to read. His name is actually Joaquin Phoenix. And he's going to be playing Napoleon. And there's a school of thought that Napoleon wasn't even a real figure, but a symbol. I don't know. I'm kind of just starting to get into that crap. We'll find out.
When do you?
I will know. So the big hoax. So when you tell people that shit coming out of the back of airplanes is not contrails, but that they're spraying shit on us, and they say you're a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. Okay, well, let's see if that's true. This is a well-known figure. Watch this.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly. As promising as it may be, moving forward on SAI would also raise a number of challenges for our government and for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change effects, such as ocean acidification, because SAI alone would not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. On the geopolitical side, the technology's potential to alter weather patterns and benefit certain regions of the world at the expense of other regions could trigger sharp opposition by some nations. Others might seize on SAI's benefits and back away from their commitment to carbon dioxide reductions. And as with other breakthrough technologies, global norms and standards are lacking to guide the deployment and implementation of SAI and other geoengineering initiatives.
What'd you get timed out for, Rock? What happened? Can't have that now. Satan can't create. He can only pervert. He can only duplicate and combine. They probably all lack originality. They do. They do. They can only take that which has already been created and pervert it. And that's one of the reasons that these entities do not, they hate us, because we're co-creators with God. And that just pisses them off, you know? And you know what? Good. We need to do this more. So who's a McDonald's person? Anybody in here? Moonbounce, I think you like McDonald's, right?
No, negative.
No? Ain't that something? So I doubt any of my peeps out here actually indulge in this shit. But this is kind of interesting if you really want to know what the fuck you're eating, or if you know people that eat this shit. Good God.
What's in a McDonald's Big Mac? Let's find out. The bun. Just bread, right? Nope. The bun contains both canola and soybean oil along with sugar. In the bun, the meat is actually 100% beef. No fillers. So that's not bad. Pickles are just pickles, right? Nope. There's 10 ingredients in McDonald's pickles, including potassium sorbate, polysorbate 80, and aluminum salts. None of those are good for humans. The lettuce is just lettuce. The secret sauce, not so secret. Seed oils, canola oil, soybean oil, propylene glycol, high fructose corn syrup, and caramel color. Got another 100% beef patty, some more of that seed oil, propylene glycol, secret sauce, and a piece of American cheese, which is not actually real cheese, full of microplastics. So that is what is in your Big Mac at McDonald's. Is it any wonder that so many Americans are fat, sick, and unhealthy? Eat real food, guys. Meat, organs, fruit, honey, raw dairy. Don't eat ultra-processed food like this. All kinds of garbage in there is hiding, and it's not good for you.
Yeah, man. Have some of that cheese. I think it's like only one molecule different from being vinyl. It's good for you.
Hey, propylene glycol always gets me hungry.
I know, and
You
he
say
said
that, and I get
yeah.
hungry.
I was down for some propylene glycol myself. Like, hell yeah. I was at first, I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, that sounds kind of good. You know, almost got me. So what do you think? You think they're going to listen? There's some scuttlebutt about a draft. There has been for a couple of weeks, and it's really strong today. What do you make of that?
Hey, all I know is, oh yeah. I mean, they might, but they called for it a while back too. I mean, it's all the military. I mean, your enumeration at birth actually puts you into almost a military contract anyway. So a lot of people aren't going to be able to get out of it if
Well,
they
you
do
know,
it.
their biggest problem is finding anybody that's qualified to meet the standards of military, mentally, physically, or both. They're having a real bad time. I mean, I watch these school buses, and of course they got to stop and let each kid off at their own house.
I know. I was going to say they don't have a recruitment shop outside McDonald's.
Yeah, and all these kids get when they get off the bus, they all look like a little D-cell battery with a fucking backpack on. You know, every one of them, little fat son of a bitch, you know, just rolling out of there, going up to their house. And, you know, another thing I see parents drive out to the end of the driveway to pick the kid up. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I walked to school every fucking day of my life, man, until I got to high school. I mean, that was insane. I never got bus ride. I lived like a 1/10 of a mile too close to be able to ride the bus. I was like, that's bullshit. So I had to walk in the snow all the time, man. And that's just bullshit. Now these kids, they dropped off. Of course, it takes you 2 hours to get home from school because you got to stop at every damn kid's house, you know? But my point was they all looked really out of shape and pasty and fat. Most of them wearing glasses, you know, nothing like when I was that age. Kids don't look the same at all. And here's a guy here. He's got something, his take on it. Maybe this will.
I keep hearing that there's a draft coming. I want to know how many men in their 30s or 40s, when that door gets knocked on, are going to go fight for greedy fucking politicians that have been stealing our money and ruining our way of life for decades and die in a country halfway across the world for what? How many out there are going to go fight? Because I'm not. Fuck them. Fuck them greedy politicians, fuck their war, and fuck everything that they're about. I'll go sit in a jail cell for the rest of my life before I fight for these greedy fucking pigs. I keep hearing that there's a draft coming.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go fight for them either. I mean, think about it. Do you really believe in what they're doing? I mean, I don't. I don't even know how it's even any of our fucking business. You know? How are we responsible for what Israel does, you know? I don't get it. Then they want to take our kids. I think more people are going to stand up against it. I really do. They already are. It seems like not very many people down for the whole idea. You've got a few of your media personalities. People are in a cult of personality. And you've got a lot of those people are, you know, they're caught up into that. But I don't think people want another war. I think there's a different vibration hitting people. I think people are starting to understand a little more, you know, and that's why I say even with flat earth, there's going to be a tipping point this next year. Absolutely. I see at least 50% on most polls coming up, or as high as 50%. And, you know, with large sample ratings, I'm seeing anywhere between 39 to 50%, 39 to 49%, people saying, yeah, it's flat. And with a third option of not sure, you get a pretty good sample there too. So that's actually, there's people actually opening their mind. I'm not sure yet. Maybe that's one of the things they're really worried about with this and why they want to censor it so badly is this, think about what would happen if they had to, not saying a scenario like this would take place, but, if they had to come out and kind of say, all right, yeah, we never went to the moon. This is a hoax. That's a hoax. We haven't really been doing this. Even if they have a really good excuse for why, what would something like that, do you think, do to the world? Like the general masses. Do you think it would be? I mean, I'm surprised people haven't been losing their shit about the aliens. That seems to not be getting much traction. So I wonder what something like that would actually do if, they finally came out and it went past that tipping point and it became like it was before, where there was just a fringe of people that thought it was where it just ends up where there's just a fringe of people believing that it's a globe and all this other dumb shit and that it's a conspiracy to cover it up, would it go to that? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. I would like to see what would happen.
That'd be irrelevant. I mean, to the point of in that thinking process, because in the point of that, or let's say they start forcing a draft, and it's like you showed that video of that guy going, man, I'll go sit in a jail cell for the rest of my life. Right? Well, he can say that until they start taking the butt end of a rifle and start thumping him in the back of the head. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people don't understand that same concept. Is like it's that same old thing that Mike Tyson would say. Everybody has a plan until they take a punch straight in the face. And it's like when the military takes over, all these people, it's kind of like you have to think of it to go, well, then the mentality will come down to, like, let's say that movie Red Dawn, where it took for an invasion to come within the United States for then everybody to go, oh, well, okay, now, since they're landing like next block over, I'm grabbing up my stuff and now because I'm actually protecting something, or I'm actually, in somebody's mentality where they're actually draw the line in themselves to whether, that point of the tipping point of whether it's a globe or not a globe is even in that tipping point. You can take a rifle butt to the head and still claim we're not on a globe, but you're not going to be able to, like what I'm saying, people, that pudgy kid that just had his mom doing that, once he's grabbed up and put in that freaking training camp and everybody starts busting on him, Pudgy's going to start acting according to what everybody else says, or, you know what I mean? That's the mentality that they would have to get past. Where's that breaking point within that person? Because the tipping point within, the population on going, whether it's flat or not a globe, in that tipping point is like, it starts becoming, because it's like all of this stuff can be a distraction, but, if they do that, if they bring up a draft and do whatever, I don't think a lot of people really understand what martial law is. You know what I mean? You think you're going to walk out the house and they start lighting you up, and it gets crazy. They're going to force the issue where, they can force the issue against what you're believing in to that aspect. But,
I just wonder if the Milgram experiment were done today, would the results be different?
I don't think so. I think that's why they tell people to keep studying it, because that's one reason why some of the people try to like blow it off and stuff, but really the thinking people want that. They keep bringing it up. It's like, watch this, because all you have to do is it's like that. I mean, you don't do Discord, but even in chats and stuff like that, when you see how people, the mentality and the way they will group and the way they will, I don't know what they call that thinking thing, but it's almost like it's that same kind of thing. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it all around that. It would be the same way. I mean, you see it. The police themselves are an example. You can't be too intelligent. They can discriminate against you and not give you a job as a policeman because of your IQ being too high.
Mhm.
And so that right there in itself says that it would be the same. It would continue. You can't put people that's intelligent with the ability to ruin somebody and bust somebody up that doesn't have the intelligence whether or not to think, what am I actually doing?
Right.
They're just going to follow what that person says, what the person said, their sergeant, whoever told them what to do. And you need to do this. You need to have this many done. You need to do this. You get promoted by busting people. And it'd
Yeah.
be the same. It may even be worse, I think.
Like get club points for, you get club points for the different, people you arrest and shit, and it's almost like that, they get, different medals and shit. You see them posing with like their latest marijuana bust or whatever, and they're all like just tickling each other balls and taking pictures and all happy and shit about it. And it's like, dude, you just ruined somebody's life over a fucking plant. Are you kidding me, man? You're celebrating that? Double hell for you. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, but it's like quadruple hell for that idiot who threw it in there, pulled it out of his back pocket, and tossed it in there while they got you hemmed up in the back of somewhere where you can't even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those people are even worse. They'll toss it in there just for that club point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's some people, they just enjoy having that feeling of power over others. They think that is a manifestation of power, usually, especially people that were brought up and abused, or mistreated. They see mistreating others as a symbol of authority. I don't know. Crazy shit. Crazy. I try to really stay out of the world. I really do. And people say, you don't go out much. No, there's people out there really not interested. Not really interested. Here's a picture of some of my guys watching our show. That's usually them. Just a shout out to my agent.
Which one's your agent?
Oh, they all are.
They all look the same almost.
Yeah, they always do. Hey, oh, that's so racist. Oh.
Well, it's just profiling.
Yeah, it's profiling. That's what it is. Oh, wow, that's an interesting picture. But yeah, I just thought I'd pop on here for a little while here tonight and see what's going on. Good to see Lucky Haskins is out here with us tonight. Yeah, if there was no way to broadcast the war, there would be no war. The entire purpose is so people see it. Absolutely, absolutely. And they want to, and they might not even really be in the war, so to speak, if there even is one. Like I said, I watched that movie again last night. Rocky Shepard said he watched it the other night to Wag the Dog. And that movie is just so great. The way they do that shit, just introduce something is not true. Well, any rumors about the B-3 bomber are just not true. What B-3 bomber? That's right. There is no B-3 bomber. And so they got all these people start asking about the fucking B-3 bomber and shit. And they have this war that doesn't really happen, all to take the attention off of some shit that the president got into. It's great movie. Great movie. And when you realize that, oh my God, they probably do this shit, and that's what happened to me when I first saw it. I went, oh, fuck, they probably do this shit all the time. And he makes reference to the Gulf War, selling the Gulf War by one single piece of footage of a bomb dropping through an air shaft in a bunker. He said, we filmed that at 1/10 scale in a hangar at such and such a place. And he said, showed that 100 times on the news and people were all for it. And I was like, oh shit. And they actually say that in the movie.
I know. It's really weird too, because it's that one word that you used in that. You said they probably see. If you take that word out, it's they do this stuff.
Yes.
There's no probably, because that's like, oh well, maybe they don't. No, they do that stuff. They do it.
Oh, you got to bet it. And they always have. And this thing about, did you know these people have lookalikes? Yes, they always have. Of course. What a safe way, and a good way for somebody that happens to look like you to make money. But, of course, you got people trying gunning for you or whatnot. Hell, what? The United States has halted exports of most civilian firearms and ammunition for all non-governmental users for 90 days. Wonder what the fuck that's. Wait a second. What's that mean? Let's look at that. Hold on one second. What's that mean? Halted exports of most civilian firearms. So you can't send any firearms or ammunition out of the country for 90 days. Was there a big problem with that going on? I'm not aware. Maybe not. Let's see, according to
But exports, the opposite of export is import.
Right.
So I mean, it could also, them saying exports could also mean imports, because if it's exported, it's imported somewhere.
Yeah.
So they stop in like all imports, all exports, whatever that means. It's like it's either it's not coming out and it's not coming in.
That would all be shit coming out. Well, I don't know. Does that necessarily mean it halts imports too?
That's what I'm saying. It has to. I mean, when they say exports, export means it's got to go somewhere, which makes it an import. So it's like, it would be like like all imports, all exports means it can't even leave, I guess. But if it can't leave, it can't import either. Maybe it's a fancy way of doing both of them at the same time, saying no exports means no imports too.
Is Smith still with us tonight? Here's the thing too, and Lisa, you were interested in this too. LeBron James is all about the 666. He worships the devil. He's not a role model. So I don't know. There's a little video on here about that. I'll put it up. Hold up. How long is it? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Why wear the number 6? It's multiple reasons. One, because 23 is one of my favorite numbers as well. So, 2 times 3 is 6. Also, my first son is October 6th, the 6th day of October, and my youngest son is June 14th, the 6th month of the year. So, 6 has always been, with me, stuck with me, even since I was like a kid for some odd reason, and then especially when I started having my family, and obviously I'm a big numbers guy too. So,
that's proof right there. LeBron James is the Antichrist. You saw it right here on my show first. So, well, unless you have to X. Is that what we're supposed to call Twitter now? Is X? I'm so behind the times. Oh, fuck. Where's this? Is this that from that hurricane in Acapulco? Wow. Hold on a second. This is bad. Watch this. It'll give me an opportunity to go take a leak, too. Ooh. Man, these people are screwed, man. I think this is down there, that hurricane in Acapulco.
こちらは旧宮古大市場がある宮古市桑ヶ崎地区です。町が完全に破壊されました。津波によって町が完全に破壊されました。
Well, Acapulco, that doesn't sound like the right language.
That's Chinese people or something. There ain't nothing saying where it is or nothing. It's just somebody with his eyes, Nicola.
I was going to say it wasn't French, what you were talking earlier.
No,
Spanish and French. That was actually, Chinese or Korean.
Yeah.
いずれ町が完全に破壊されています。時刻は
He's Godzilla.
3時26分です。3時26分です。一向に
Yeah, that's something about Godzilla, I think. Wow, it's interesting. Keep you guys on the lookout for Godzilla down in any place. You know? What the fuck is this thing? Oh, God, more space fakery. Here we go. We all love the space fakery, guys. I give it every opportunity to show it. That's insane. This is from a movie up here.
I know that was really weird, but it's almost like, I guess in space, every which way is up, because when she was doing that around and it said that hair, I mean, that hair just stayed the same way it was no matter which way she was.
You know, that is the saddest shit when I see that. And there's people, they believe that that's really in weightlessness. Because that hair, that's how the hair would react. Women, they've been in my chat and they've said, oh, that's absolutely real. I'm like, oh, it's the 37th time they use the same footage on the flood of 65. Is that what they're doing there? I wonder where that is. It's some kind of Chinese people where, I don't know. You know, we don't even know if that shit really happens or not. What happened to the Sunspot Solar Observatory in New Mexico? I didn't know anything happened to it. But yeah, guys, I was just going to pop on here for a couple hours. I think I've done that. We're coming up on 3 hours. I think this is pretty good. Just wanted to kind of touch base, kind of go over some crazy shit. I went a week without you people, and there, while I was gone, I hit 1,000 subscribers. Ain't that some shit? Huh? Now we got it. Now we're doing it. We're in the big league. So I guess I got an email I looked at. I got this email of I got to put up some more of my pictures too from there. I'm going to probably post them in the community page. I've got some pictures of me with FE Nation and some other people that I want to put up on here too. And I want to thank him for that picture that he took of me by the waterfall. That was pretty cool. Kind of enjoyed that. Is being a whore a deal breaker for you? I don't know. Let's see where the moral decay in our society has gone to here before we roll out. This is always pretty good.
I actually like you. Like I literally have said, like, I would sign an NDA and like never like let people know about our relationship, but like I actually like you.
So confirm or deny, are you a pathological liar?
But I'm not a whore anymore. I don't do porn anymore. But I literally said I would stop being a whore for you, and I literally stopped porn.
Listen, you're an attractive woman, but the fact that you've done porn and
It was a hiccup.
it is 100% a deal breaker. Like,
But I said I'm sorry, and I literally quit being a thought.
thank you for your apology.
And like my pussy's like
I
great.
accept your apology for doing porn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen.
Brian, why? Like because I used to be a whore. Like
Used to?
You still are. I actually like you. Like I literally have said.
Oh, dude. He just put her down. Oh my God, that chick just said, you still are.
He did, yeah. The chick really did it because I used to be. You still are. It's like you are.
Yeah, nothing changed. Oh, look, here's
Leave
John
it.
Thomas. John, you just showed up. I was just getting ready to sign off, my man, but I'll let you come on and say something for a minute. What's going on, John?
What's up, brother?
What's going on? You caught us as we were shutting down.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Yeah, I've just been browsing. I seen you're doing a deal on that last little short.
Yeah. We were just showing that last little thing and getting ready to roll out of here. So, yeah, I'll probably sometime before the Monday, I'll be back on again.
Okay, I'll hit you up then, brother. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, John. Thanks for coming up. Moonbounce, you
Yeah,
got
cool.
anything you want to leave everybody with before we go tonight?
No, I was just coming to say what's up. See how everything's going.
Right.
Unless you're I'll probably ramble 30 minutes if I even get started.
Yeah. Save it for the next one, brother. Save it for the
Hell
next
yeah. Y'all have a good evening.
All right. Moonbounce, how about you, brother? You got anything?
No, I mean, just like what people say, man, keep your feet firmly planted and critically think. Question everything.
All right. Absolutely. Yep. And as I always like to leave you with, always remember, the Lord loves the working man. Don't trust Whitey, and see your doctor and fire his ass because he'll probably kill you. So good night, everybody. We'll probably be back Sunday night. Sounds good. All right. We'll see you then.